Blog Talk Radio.
What's up, everybody? Let's Talk Jets Radio. Kevin Serkin here, starting it off. Tyson will be joining us in a bit. First call-in show after the firing of Adam Gase. I will try my best not to be too negative tonight like I was on the live stream last night. As always, you can find us on YouTube, iTunes, Spreaker, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search Let's Talk Jets Radio. We can't thank you guys enough for the support throughout the entire season, not just on Tuesday nights, but during the live streams as well. We really could not have gone through the entire season with all the bullshit that's happened without each of you, so thank you. So with that, let's introduce the man, the myth, the legend, on time tonight due to no miscommunications on the part of myself. Tyrone, what is going on, man?
The living legend. What's going on, prime time? Yo, long, heartfelt season. This shit's been crazy. And the greatest news ever to be heard from the Jets was your man was fired. And tonight's show is going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. I know everybody's listening, going to want to get on. We're going to try to keep it to, one comment, one statement. We're going to move. We got a lot of calls tonight. And I'm excited, prime time. Like I'm excited about our future. I kind of like what the owner said a little bit. I like what Joe Douglas, some of what he was saying. And, not at all. I mean, I'm just hoping, man.
So let's start there. Tell me what you liked about what Chris Johnson and Joe Douglas said over the last 2 days as far as their vision for the future.
I think, the one thing I would say about Chris Johnson that I understood is that he fucked up. Like, he know that, he was majority of the problem, and he was part of it. He wasn't part of the solution. He was part of the problem, and he's sick of losing. And I know you got to be sick of losing because his fans are sick of losing. And the one thing that, they always say, and at this time, I know it's all just media talk, but it's a great sound bite. But, at the end of the day, I think that they really realize that we need a coach that's a leader of men. I've been saying that for weeks. We need a leader of men. We need a coach to coach the whole team. And I like that he admitted that because that was the lack of understanding in that building. You had a coach who couldn't lead men. You had a coach who only wanted to coach offense. You know what I'm saying? He basically said that Greg Williams was basically the coach of the defense. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So, understanding their mistakes, man, and hopefully they'll get it right this time, man. And I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to the coaching search.
I like that he's going to let Joe Douglas run the search. I like that he's entertaining the idea of, changing the power structure where, the head coach and GM, don't report to him because he has no business being involved with that. But there's still a lot here, as far as they were in this exact same position 2 years ago. Mike McCagnon was running the search. Chris Johnson was just supposed to be sitting in, yet he gets the phone call from Peyton Manning, and that changes their entire plan. So what's going to happen this time around? Does Joe Douglas have the resources to go after the top coaches that he wants to? Is he providing the blank check to make this happen? And so, that part of it, in the back of my mind, I'm still a little nervous about. And again, just, being Chris Johnson, being a guy that has kind of overseen half of the last 10 years, Woody the other part, we don't know when he's coming back, what he might do. There are so many unknowns here, and to still float out some of the same quotes about, hey, the fans should have plenty of confidence that we're going to get it right. Based on what? Why should we believe that you're going to get this right? So, for me as a fan, it's more just stop talking and just show us something. And that's even part of his quote. There's nothing I can say up here today that, is going to change the past 10 years. We have to earn the respect back of our fans. That was more of what I wanted to hear from him. So coming out there and, again, saying the fans should trust us with this. No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't trust us. We should see something, of substance before we believe.
But something, prime time, when he actually admitted that, he basically fucked up, I kind of appreciated that because, that's what we've been waiting for this whole time. We've been waiting for you to say that, you got it wrong. Basically, you got it wrong. I mean, and that's what we've been saying and screaming from a fan base from day one. You got it wrong. And so, I think Joe Douglas, and like I said, this next decision is going to really determine this and that draft and this offseason. It is going to be all big pieces, man. So, I'm not saying I believe in Joe Douglas. I think Joe Douglas is a football guy. So I know what he comes from organizations that are winning franchise and what it takes to have and what you need to get in the door. And what I like from Joe Douglas today is he said he basically, had a shitty off season. He admitted that. And I take that as well because, You know, that's something that we want as fans. We know this. We don't, you know what I'm saying? And everyone who calls in, listen, man, we're not experts, man. We never claim to be. We are fucking fans. You know what I'm saying? So we're just giving our own perspective on this team. So when you hear the GM, go ahead.
No, I was going to say really quick, like, I have some belief in Joe Douglas, like a lot of people. You know, I like the way he talks about, you know, the resources that we have going forward as far as how he's allocated some cap space. You know, we have as much space as pretty much anybody in the league minus the Jaguars. And this is an off season where there's a lot of teams that are really pressed up against it, so that's in our favor. You know, trading the Jamal Adams, you know, getting the 2 first-round picks plus the extra third, that sets us up pretty well. You know, so as far as what he said today, like, you know, I see what his vision is going forward, but now the spotlight is on him to actually execute because his first off season was terrible. You know, like you said, I mean, he owned it. You know, he owned it at the midseason presser when, you know, he said that he miscalculated the market on Robbie Anderson. So you give him credit for owning his failures. Now he's got to start, you know, finding some real building blocks, and not just, you know, in the first round and second round, because we've been down that path before. You know, we've got to find some, you know, hidden diamonds in the mid to late rounds, you know, some actual building blocks to go forward with. And, you know, even on Sam Darnold, like, I think he's playing that one right also. Like, he didn't commit to Sam or drafting a quarterback either way, and that's exactly how he should play it. You know, the number 2 overall pick should, in the eyes of other teams, be open for the Jets to do whatever they want. Like, you want to create as many bidding wars as possible, teams trading up, not knowing what you're doing, quarterback-needy teams thinking they got to move past somebody to get your pick. Like, that's exactly what you want. So I have no issue with what he said today about Sam either.
No, not at all. And I think that's a smart move. Like, listen, even if you wanted to keep Sam, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that's your decision. And he said that's going to be the coach's decision. But I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. Man, listen, that pick right there is going to be so valuable. If we keep it or if we get rid of it, it's going to be a profitable pick for this team. Either way, it's going to help us. It's going to give us a building block foundation as a quarterback, or it's going to give us a building block as a right tackle, or it's going to give us a plethora of picks. And that's what we need because, like I said, you know, this team needs an infusion of talent. But like I said, man, I'm excited, man. I'm not excited.
And that's the – and that's, like, not to cut you off, like, that's been my argument. I'm not going to go down this path tonight. Tonight's a new night. We can talk about, you know, Gase and Joe Douglas, what his plan is going to be. I don't want to talk about the quarterbacks tonight, but that's been my argument all along.
The draft.
That, you know,
the draft. No draft tonight, man. No draft
exactly. Tonight. Like, if you're looking at the state of this roster right now, you need a lot of building blocks. So I get the argument. New coach wants a quarterback. You could definitely go down that path. There's nothing wrong with that. But to not entertain the possibility that you get a crazy haul and you don't move back too many spaces with the state of this roster right now, I just think that's a decision that, you know, the head coach and Joe Douglas are going to make collaboratively. And I don't think they've made that decision yet either, in spite of some people telling you that, you know, we're definitely doing one thing or the other.
And prime time. And also, did you see that thing that Tyson put on Twitter yesterday about the teams without head coaches and their cap space, man? Did you see that?
Yeah, we're second on that list.
Yo, exactly. Jacksonville, us. Detroit had $10 million. I think Houston was like minus $38 million. Bro, it was crazy.
The thing with Houston, though, is they still have, you know, Deshaun Watson, J.J. Watt as their selling points. You know, the Chargers still have Herbert, Joey Bosa. You know, so you have other teams that have selling points. And even the Jaguars have more picks, more cap space, plus Trevor Lawrence coming in.
But I just get
really quick. Also, I just get the early sense that, like, you know, we're gonna not just settle, but we're leaning towards a guy like Martindale, whether it's because he can, you know, work with Joe Douglas or because he's in our price range. It just seems like it's heading down that path. And, you know, just going back to, like, the Tyson rant from a couple of weeks ago after we won that game, we were tired of settling, right? We didn't want to settle for the second best quarterback in Justin Fields. We wanted the best. Yeah. We wanted the top shelf.
Or
we wanted
the
Trevor
second best head coach.
I don't want the second, third, or fourth best head coach. I want us doing everything we can to get Cowher or Matt Campbell. I want to know that we're willing to offer that 8-year, $60 million contract like the Panthers did, like the Raiders gave $100 million to Gruden. I want to know that we're willing to do that. So if we end up with a 4-year, you know, $2 million per year contract for Wick Martindale, you know, maybe he's the guy, but it doesn't sell me that you did everything you could to get the best guy in here.
Well, you know, I'm gonna say this right here, and I definitely feel you, prime time, and that's what a lot of people didn't understand why we were so frustrated because, we didn't want a second-rate coach. And I don't mean I'm not underestimating anybody, but Adam Gase was a third-rate coach, and we hired him. So, understanding when you get a coach like that, Todd Bowles, was a second-rate coach because he wasn't experienced enough to build a team the proper way. This is what happens when you do stuff like that, and this is what you end up with. That's what the biggest deal with Trevor. We wanted Trevor so bad, but I still think
that's another thing.
But hold on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But Martindale, I actually like him, bro. I've been really researching him, bro. I really like him, bro. I really do. He a leader of men, you know what I'm saying? But it just depends on the staff that he gets. I know last year he was going to get with the kid, end up going to the offense coordinator for Carolina. He was trying to get him.
Bill Brady.
You know what I'm saying? To look at what, yeah. So, and now he's getting looked at for a head coaching position. Like I said, I want a leader of men. I mean, I don't care who they decide to get, but I want a leader of men. This is a really good opportunity, man, to turn this thing around and really fix this up. What were you saying, Primetime?
Yeah, so there's aspects of Martindale that I like. I feel like he's kind of cut from, the Rex Ryan cloth, and, he was a success for at least a couple of years here, although he wasn't able to build a team, wasn't able to find somebody to, run the offense. And those are some of the, same concerns you might worry about a little bit with Martindale. But the thing is, also, you're going to have progress no matter what. We were just at rock bottom. The bar is so low. No matter what this next coach does coming in, if we win 6 to 8 games next year, we're going to tout that as progress. If we make the playoffs in 2 or 3 years, we're going to think we probably got the guy because, again, the bar is so fucking low. We haven't done anything in 10 years. So we're not going to know if we really got this hire right, for at least a couple of years. But, again, in the back of my mind, looking back 20 years ago after, the Kotite experiment, what did we need? We needed Parcells to rid us of that stench. That's exactly what I feel like we need right now. So could Martindale be the guy? Yes. But are the Jets in position where they could take that risk on him instead of, going out and getting the prominent top guy, offering him that mega contract? I don't think that's the path we should take.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel you on that, man. And the scary part is, man, these next 2 decisions, man, are absolutely, bro. Because I really feel like Primetime to me, I really feel like with the cap space and the cap being down this year and so many teams over the cap, going to be a lot of good players hit the market or being able to be had via trade for basically nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of teams can't improve because you don't have the cap space to improve. Now, I know guys get cut. There's going to be a lot of good guys getting cut that we can pick up and actually build up a team real good. But like I said, you got to bring the right kind of people in. But I like the fact that we're young right now, that you have young guys, that we can keep building off that young guy stuff. But like you said, he has to hit in the 4th and the 5th and the 6th round and 7th round. But I will say this, man, the guys that he got that were undrafted free agents, man, I like all of them. You know what I'm saying? I like all of them. I like Huff.
I like most of the undrafted free agents more than I do some of the mid to late round picks.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. Listen, that's the shit that really gets to you, right? Because you're sitting there Morgan hasn't played, Clark hasn't played, Zing is missing. You know what I'm saying? Damn. But the 3 guys you signed for, undrafted free agents are guys that actually play and contribute and we're growing. And we watch these kids grow. So,
yeah.
But, and the biggest thing no one talks about with Joe Jugglers, I'm telling you, man, that getting Hogan in the building, I'm sorry. I just think, Hogan ran the Senior Bowl for years and years and years and years and years. The one thing I know is he's a talent. He's a talent evaluator of young talent, bro, and finding those diamonds in the rough, man. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that he got them in the building, bro. Like I said, man, I'm thinking that hopefully, man, they can have a good draft. We have 2 first-round picks this year, second-round pick and third. So we have 4 picks in the top 60. You know what I'm saying? 64 picks. So basically, man, we should be having 4 starters. Basically, you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited, man. Just doing the right thing, and to me, not getting Trevor makes everything complicated. We had the first pick in the draft Primetime. We wouldn't even have to talk about anything. But
we wouldn't be worried about the head coaching search right now. We would be the top destination for a head coach. It wouldn't be Jacksonville.
They'll be calling us. They'll be calling us. You know what I'm saying?
And that's also the other thing that I was complaining about last night that people were ripping me for, is that, it seems like we're taking the slow and methodical approach as far as, we're going to vet all of these candidates, we're going to do our due diligence, get them all in the building, go through 8 to 10 interviews, probably go through a second round of interviews as well. So, that worries me a little bit because not that, the last time around, Cliff Kingsbury or anybody like that has turned out to be a major success yet, but you had guys in your building that in theory you potentially wanted to hire, and you let them walk out the door without a contract, and then they got an offer elsewhere. So that also worries me a lot.
Yeah, actually, because like I said, it's not a time. Your decision has to be a smart decision, but time wise, you're competing against 5 other teams that and one team that 2 teams that have good quarterbacks, and one team's about to draft one of the best quarterbacks since Peyton Manning. So
and they've known for 2 months Gase is out the door. How do they not have a plan ready? How do they not have a list of 2 or 3 guys that are right at the top that they should be willing to give a blank check to?
Absolutely. And you know what's so crazy, Prime Time? Like, I know you guys were hearing me scream about Eric the Enemy, right? I really been researching him, bro. And I'm off the Eric the Enemy want him in the building. Like, I love his fire. I love what he does. But come to find out, bro, like this, from what I'm hearing, is he wasn't calling the play. I think he was actually calling the plays. He's not calling the plays, bro. Andy Reid gives a play to him. He calls it into Patrick Mahomes. So that right there just took him completely off the level for me, because I'm sitting there like, whoa, you'll bring that kind of offense, but Andy Reid understands the flow of the game, man. I'm thinking that you're calling him. He doesn't trust you to make them kind of calls. I don't want to bring you in as I had coach with a new quarterback, or, trying to adapt to Sam or whatever was decided in that situation. You feel me? So
the only caveat to that, I guess, would be how involved is he as far as like the actual game plan during the week, as far as designing some of those plays during the off season, during training camp and all that. So I mean, if he has his fingerprints all over that offense, and he did play a certain role in developing Mahomes and some of their young players, you could say, all right, he can bring some of that over here. And like you said, I do think he is a leader, a guy that you could trust, but he also comes with, some of those red flags that Albert Breer, I think, reported a couple weeks ago. So you have to worry about that. He's had a lot of interviews, and he still hasn't gotten a head coaching job yet. So you worry, I guess, how he portrays himself in the interview room, plus some of the off-the-field incidents that have gone on in his past.
Well, I think definitely he'll get a job this year. And like I said, he's a very talented coach, but that's not what I want for us. I mean, we were a more stable team. We had more veterans. We were already a team in place. Somebody like him with offensive mind, I'm cool with. But that's not what we need. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we need a coach that can cover all levels. And really, what I'm saying, it maybe really depends on who's going to be on your staff. I mean, who's going to run your defense? Who's going to run your special teams? I mean, this kind of stuff you got to have in place. Don't get me wrong. I hope he gets a job. He's a hell of a guy. You know what I'm saying? We hired him. I'll be happy with it. But at the same time, I just don't think he's right for us, man. I want to leave.
Like you just said with the staff, though, not to cut you off again, sorry. Like you just said with the staff, that might be one of the things that, gets Martindale the job. Like you said, he had Joe Brady last time around. If he's able to get, Tony Elliott, the offensive coordinator, I think, for Clemson, there's talk about him coming over. If he's able to bring him over, and, Marvin Lewis, they love him as defensive coordinator, are they looking at the best total staff or the best, individual head coach for the job? Would they trust Matt Campbell if they like him more as a head coach to assemble a staff that would be relatively unknown? I don't really know.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing I like too, though. I mean, think about having a guy like Marvin Lewis in the building. Talking about getting Anthony Lynn as his running back coach. I mean, think about having 4 or 5 former coaches that had success in this league for years to be able to come in. I mean, so like I said, man, it's going to be a hard decision, and they better get it right. I mean, that's something I can say is we deserve so much more than what we're getting. But like I said, we're just fans. We're just fans. So for us to, I can't complain what the Jets do. I'm just tired of watching this team give me a bad product and not compete, And like I said, man, I was solely wanted to keep Sam, man. I solely wanted to watch him grow. And I wanted Sam to be that piece, man. Like I said, Sam is 23 years old. So the book is not written on Sam. I just don't know if the book is going to be written here, and that's the scary part about it. And, like I said, I'm still not sold on Fields. I'm sorry everyone feels that way, that he had a good game, and I just don't think that that's what we need right now. So I'm in so much confusion on what's going to actually happen and what's going to do, and being in the dark, not knowing. I kind of want to call Joe Douglas like, yo, Joe D, what's the plan, man? The fans want to know. You know what I mean? That's just how we feel, because we have to deal with that. Everybody has an opinion. I'm sitting there reading Twitter, and I'm reading everybody that calls in the show, regular guys, man. And they're all giving their opinions, man. And they're all all great opinions. Everybody knows who they want. I don't know who broke it down, but somebody broke down like the whole staff of who he would hire. I'm like, damn, bro, what are you doing with your free time, bro? Like, shit. Like, he broke it all down. But like I said, I appreciate it, man. God, I love what we do. I love doing this show. I love interacting with the fans. I mean, this shit is so amazing, man, that we get to talk Jets football on a Tuesday night. You know what I'm saying? After our team is at home, not going to be in the playoffs. So.
Yep, this has been the one thing that we've enjoyed about the season, and that's why, again, like, I was, ripping some, people last night on the show. I don't like, the fan base out there that talks down to the other fans. I think they know everything, like you said, that spend countless hours, studying every aspect of this team, and think they have this authority over other people. Like, I know more than you. I watch more film than you. I know for a fact Sam Darnold's going to be a bust without taking into account the fact that he has literally been put in the worst situation of any quarterback drafted in probably the last 20 years, going back to Carr when the expansion Texans took him.
Absolutely. And so, this is the thing that pardon your wisdom for 1 second. Yeah, prime time, man, you're dead fucking on, bro. Like, and anyone who says this, man, like, yo, this kid has been set up for failure, and that's just what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna make any excuses for his bad throws, his bad footwork. You know what I'm saying? But you have to look at it, man. Shaky offensive line, man. Who has been his best fucking receiver? I mean, like Robbie Anderson, and we're talking about Perriman.
Week 9. Exactly. Douglas said that today.
Exactly. Yo, then you have a mixture of line. I mean, like I said, he hasn't been given the opportunity. And then, someone said something to me before, and they were like, Alex Smith is a good quarterback. I said, look, Alex Smith fucking sucked for 5 fucking years. He fucking sucked. And then, you know what I'm saying, he got the right coaching and everything changed, and he became the player he is now. But I'm just saying, bro, like, you have to look at the factors of what's going on, man. Like, every other player, Baker Mayfield, solid-ass team, you know what I'm saying, good players around him. Josh Allen, solid-ass team, good players around him. Lamar Jackson, bro, they built the whole fucking offense for him. A whole offense for him. You understand what I'm saying? That's why, and he has great players around him, bro, and he's at a great organization. I mean, it's what it is.
Yeah, and that's where the head coach comes into play. When you have the right head coach, you can successfully build around your quarterback. He'll find the right guy, the right offense, the right pieces, and he'll make it work. He'll adjust, he'll adapt, and he'll build confidence in his quarterback. That's exactly what we saw with Josh Allen. His first year, he wasn't very good. There weren't many people saying Josh Allen was better than Sam Darnold. In fact, a lot of the same people that are bashing Sam now were laughing at Bill fans for thinking they had their quarterback in Josh Allen. They thought he was a bust. They were calling him Hackenberg 2.0. They thought Robbie Anderson, his ceiling was just a deep ball threat. They thought Leonard Williams was a joke. Look at where those guys are at right now. So maybe we have a problem here developing talent.
And then prime time, even worse than that. I've heard 4 or 5 countless people say, yo, man, if Sam Darnold was on Buffalo, they'd be in the playoffs. And it's fucking true. Like I said, man, they built around him, and they helped him to get better. Have we done that? I mean, and that's why I said, man, that's why I don't know what's going to be done with Sam, but either way, man, I wish him nothing but the best, man. If he stays here, I'm happy. If he goes, I'm going to be a little sad. I'll be honest with you, because the kid wasn't given a fair chance. But if he wants to, I couldn't blame him if he wants to leave. Like, the kid's been nothing but, you know what I'm saying, like, you can't ask someone to bake you a cake and give them half the fucking ingredients and then want the same cake as a bakery's going to make. It's just bullshit. You can't expect that and expect somebody to grow. But his bad decision-making, him missing wide-open receivers, that's on him. That's no excuse for that.
Absolutely. Going into year 3, there's a certain standard that you should be meeting as a franchise quarterback. You should be able to elevate certain pieces around you to a certain extent. Unfortunately for Sam, he has never been put in that position, I think early on in his career to, build that confidence to where he could take his game to that level. I think he can get there one day. If you have the right coach, the right pieces, you kind of rid, the last couple of years away from his brain and, kind of reprogram a bit. I think he's got the talent to do it. But, we can't sit here and say, like, what's inside the brain of Sam Darnold, how much damage has been done. It's impossible to know that. And that's why you give the new head coach all the authority he wants, whether he wants to take a quarterback, trade down, whatever he wants to do.
Absolutely. And the thing about it is also, too, people start looking at, man, you have to look at the fact that, man, like, look, you look at Josh Allen, like last year. What did Buffalo go do? They went and got him a number 1 receiver. Why did they do that? Because he needed that. And look at the numbers he's put up this season. This is how you progress. This is what good teams do. And, having a solid coach, having a good organization. His offensive coordinator is in most circles, the top candidate for a job this season. Why? Because they realized what he did, what his quarterback, and the way he called the game. You know what I'm saying? If you watch any Buffalo games, them guys are wide open. They scheming these guys open. If you look at anybody in the fucking league, we were the only team where we didn't scheme guys open. You know, every 2 or 3 plays, Gase will get somebody open. But how many times you watch a Jets game when you see a contested pass or tight window pass because guys weren't scheme open? So, you know, listen, I heard a guy in the last game, one of the commentators mentioned this. He said, you know why coaches use motion? Because what they do with a young quarterback, you use motion for a young quarterback so you can make his reads easier. That's what you do with a young quarterback. So you make his decision-making easier so he knows what it is. You watch the Patriots for as long as Brady was there, they had motion. So he knew where to go with the football. Sam had none of this shit, bro. None of this. None of this, bro. And listen, what the Patriots were doing, if anybody knows football, I mean, I'm not saying I'm a pro, but listen, they have a robber. So basically what they do is you don't know who the robber is, so you don't know who they're going to drop back, man. It's ingenious almost. But you watching Sam and not helping him out to figure out where to go with the football, you put him in a bad position, man. That's coaching, bro. That's not anything other than that. It's bad coaching.
Yeah. I'm not going to debate quarterbacks tonight, but, you know, I think it's just clear if you get the right head coach in here, you can make a good argument that things will fall into place, whether it's around Sam, whether it's with Fields, Zach Wilson. Hell, you could even bring in a veteran, build your team that way. I hope they don't fucking do that. But, you know, you have the right coach in here. You trust that he'll find a way to set this thing right away from what it's been the last 10 years. So with that, we will finally get to the phone line. Holy shit, there are a lot of them. So we got to keep it somewhat quick. We'll start it off with James out in Nevada. James, what's going on, man?
What's going on,
guys? Good. You know what? This is the best I felt as a Jets fan in probably 2 years, to be honest, to get rid of Adam Gase. I cannot be happier for that guy to hit the fucking road. I think it's, you know, about damn time, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what this team can be, you know, with the coaching staff we're going to bring in, the talent we can bring in to rebuild this team. And, you know, we've gone through these rebuilds so many times, you know, like you got to think, you know, the 100th time has to be the charm, you know. And pretty excited to where we are, and really excited about that. And you guys had an excellent conversation. You brought up some excellent points. It's just, you know, the one thing that makes me nervous, guys, as a Jets fan, is the dependency of hoping that one single quarterback is going to change our stars, change our franchise. And, guys, I just don't know if that's going to be it for us. You know what I mean? I feel like we need to build that cake first, you know what I mean? Strong offensive line, receivers, running backs, DBs, pass rushers. But going for quarterback first, I feel like we've kind of failed there, you know, a few times now. I feel like we got to build this cake first and, you know, stick with Sam. You know, I'm a big Darnold believer. I do like Zach Wilson. You know, you flirt with the idea as a Jet fan, like, hey, this guy's really solid. He could be the next Patrick Mahomes. But it's irresponsible for us, I think. Go ahead.
Yeah, James, before we could have a quarterback, though, we still got to have a head coach. So how do you think these next 3 weeks are going to play out? You know, is Joe Douglas actually going to be able to run the search on his own? Is Chris Johnson going to interfere? Does Joe Douglas have a blank check to hire whoever he wants? How do you see this all playing out, and who do you think the Jets are going to end up with?
You know, it's going to make you nervous as a Jets fan, you know, because if it's all Joe Douglas, I do have a little bit of faith in him to find somebody. He's a football guy. I just don't believe the Johnsons are going to be on the sideline, you know, and I just don't want them involved at all, but I'm scared they may force, you know, John Harbaugh onto, you know, us, you know what I mean? And I'm sure he's fine, you know what I mean? But I don't think that's what we need right now. If we're going to build this team, you know, we need to have somebody who's fairly young who can transition to the college guys we're going to be bringing in, and somebody who can transition them into NFL football players. So, you know, that's going to be the really tricky thing for us. If you're asking me today, you know, if it's up to Joe Douglas, to me, guys, I think Joe Brady is that guy, just to be honest. I think he's that bridge that can go find the college talent, right? Really put a good offensive system for them to be successful. You know what I mean? And then he's going to be able to develop our guys. I think you've seen it wherever he's been. At LSU, his offensive players develop. He gets the best out of them. If he's in Carolina, he's an assistant in New Orleans. They do such a good job of developing their 4th-round picks, their 5th-round picks. I don't know. That's pretty attractive to me, you know, me, in my opinion, as a Jet fan. But there's so many coaches. If we don't get Joe Brady, do I consider this season a failure or Joe Douglas an idiot? No, that's just my personal preference. But, you know, I think – go ahead.
Hey, nah, bro. Appreciate you calling, man. We got a bunch of calls tonight, man. We got to rarely keep
No,
it
I
fast
understand.
tonight, bro.
I understand.
Thank you for calling.
Hey, call, James.
Good night, man. Amazing call.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, guys.
Holy crap, there are a lot of phone calls. So again, we'll try and get through these as quick as possible. Next up, we got Lou in New Jersey. Lou, what's going on, man?
What up, Lou?
Hey, fellas, how are you?
Doing good, man.
How you feeling, Lou?
Oh, ecstatic. I mean, great. I mean, he's finally gone. Gase is gone. Hallelujah. I mean, we've been waiting for this for quite a while. I mean, I think you should have fired though a lot sooner. I mean, you gave him the whole season. I mean, you knew he wasn't going to do anything with the team, but you kept him the whole season. Why? I'll never know. I mean, I think you should have gone after week 4. For some reason, he kept hanging around, and they did manage to win 2 games of the season, which doesn't really mean jack now. Anyway.
All right, well, this is a show for looking. We're not going to look back. We're not going to look back. He's finally gone. We have reasons for optimism, reasons for hope. So over the next 3 weeks, how do you think this coaching search is going to play out? Does Joe Douglas have full authority to do what he wants? Does he have a blank check? Will Chris Johnson get involved? Who did the Jets end up with?
Yeah, well, I heard a rumor a few weeks ago. Now, I don't know how true this rumor could be, but I heard they might be looking at maybe former Steelers coach Bill Cowher, which I don't think is a bad choice.
Yes,
but I don't know if
Would love it, but flying a pipe dream.
He's been waiting for so long.
Absolutely. It'd be amazing to get somebody like Cowher. That's the kind of guy that we really need to make us get better, and come in and give us instant stability from day one. Hey, but Lou, man, thank you for calling, bro. I appreciate you, man. I really do, bro.
Thanks. I'll bring the terrible towels.
Yes, sir.
Good call, Lou. Should we say hi to Tyson? Should we get his thoughts on Joe Douglas's press conference today?
Nah, dude, go to callers, man. Go to callers.
You have nothing to say?
No, I have nothing to say, dude. Just go to callers. I'm good.
All right, next up, we've got Dan out in Howard Beach. Always a call. Dan, the floor is yours, my man.
Fellas, what's going on, boys?
What's
up,
bro? How
dude?
you feeling, man? The big bad wolf is gone, bro. How you feeling?
I'm good, and I know you guys got a bunch of callers. I just want to get straight to the point. Listen, I don't want to talk about coaches. I don't want to talk about the draft or anything like this. I just want to point something out that has just been amazing, which is for the first 20 years, for the first time in over 20 years that the Johnsons have had this franchise, one thing occurred this season that has never happened to them, and that's being embarrassed. Complete embarrassment. The laughingstock of the league, even more so the Jacksonville Jaguars, having Sam Darnold, a young kid, destroying them, having Adam Gase as head coach after you could have gone with Matt Rule or all the other candidates. Now they're at a point where they're actually questioning their structure, their power structure. That's something that we wanted. We heard from Christopher yesterday. We heard from Joe today. I actually like that they're going into the right direction. I think certain things had to happen in order to get to this point, and I think the future is going to look very bright, man, extremely. And it was only because they needed to get to this level of complete embarrassment.
Absolutely. Bro, the funny thing about it is I'm so glad it was finally over. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, they had to be in the front, and everyone had to see how bad this was. And to come out and to actually admit the truth that what we already knew. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited about what we can do in the future to make this a little bit better. But I think they got to get this choice right. Anybody you have in mind that you want to be a head coach?
Me? I mean, I'm getting shitted on Twitter for even acknowledging freaking Jim Harbaugh. The freaking guy is a great NFL head coach. All of a sudden, no way. Like all of a sudden, Jet fans has a say of getting somebody that's way better, like complete polar opposite of Gase. Jim Harbaugh would be a great choice. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would love Campbell. But again, not for nothing, it's time for the Jets to start dishing out money to the right coach. Enough about settling. I don't want this team settling anymore. Enough is enough. Mediocrity has hit its lowest point. You can't get any lower than this. Like, honestly, you can't. Even if next year we get the first overall draft pick, it can't even get lower than that. This is rock bottom, like completely. So enough is enough.
That's exactly what I was saying at the beginning of the show. Like the same way that Tyson went off on his rant, like, we're tired of settling. We don't want the second best quarterback, third best quarterback, Justin Fields, Sam Darnold, whoever. We wanted Trevor Lawrence. That's why we were pissed. I'm the same fucking way right now about the head coach. I want to make sure that ownership and Joe Douglas are able to do whatever they can. They have all the resources they need to get the top guy. Make the offer to Cowher. Make the offer to Campbell. 8 years, $80 million, whatever it is. The Panthers offered $60 million to Rule. The Raiders gave Gruden $100 million. There's no reason the Jets, with the state of their franchise, can't offer that kind of contract to a prominent head coach and get the top guy in the building.
I couldn't concur more, because 2 years ago we were in the same boat to save Sam Darnold's career. Now we're at this juncture right now. In all honesty, Fields is probably going to be our quarterback, and I'm elated. I'm really happy with that. With any direction that they go, but they got to get it right then and there. Get Campbell, call him. We'll give you $10 million a year, just like you said. Enough is enough, man, guys. I can't wait to hear the rest of your show as I'm working on my generator right now. Dude, I love your show. Keep up the great work. And I can't wait to freaking see you stream live the freaking Bama OSU game, guys.
All right, brother. Have a good night, man. Thanks for calling in,
man.
Have a great night.
Absolutely.
Have a good one. All right, next up, we have our good friend Steve Cordero.
Why? Hey, man.
What's going on, Steve?
Steve, what's going on, man?
Hey, man. Hey, Prime. Hey, Tyrone. How are you?
First caller today. Yeah.
What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Hey, is that on? Am I on?
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, you on, bro? You on? Yeah, you on?
Oh, I heard some other voice. All right, guys, I'm going to jump right in. I know you guys got, like, a lot of folks in the queue. I'm drinking Johnny Walker Double Black, celebrating Gase's firing.
Absolutely.
I'm Team Tyson. You guys know that. Or Tyrone, you may not, but on all the other shows. I kind of side with him, so I don't want to get into that. But Chris Johnson, I agree with a lot of what he said, but he said something about Sam, and he goes, I think he's a great QB, wonderful talent, drive, etc. He has a big future, and I personally hope it's on this team. That's what I told him after the game. I hope he is a Jet going forward. Decision is made by Joe Douglas and our new coach. And then he left it there. Do you guys think, I know, Prom, you're concerned about Chris Johnson as well, interfering and meddling in other areas and the coaching hire and everything else. This is the one thing that he said that I kind of was like, he did this with Gase, when he was pumping him up and everything, and we had a season of Gase. So what do you guys think of that quote, if anything? And I think we all agree we need a quality quarterback, whether or not that's Sam. We could debate that all day. But you need one to be consistent, winners. Right tackle is great. But if Sam either develops or we get another quarterback, again, we're going to leave it there. But is he broken in New York is also a second question, and I'll leave it there.
I'll start off front time. I want to say this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that he's going to actually leave it to Joe Douglas. I think that they'll have some input. I think they'll be in a room, but I think that when it comes under the final decision, they're going to leave it to Joe Douglas, and this is why I say I think that's going to be the case. I think the fact of the matter is that he really fucked up last coaching hire. He really did. He really made a big mistake, and he set us back years and didn't realize that. These guys were absolutely, in the last call, stated it best. They were absolutely embarrassed. This was an embarrassing season, and the best thing that, the worst thing that happened to the world was COVID. But the best thing that ever happened to Johnson was COVID, because if we could have been in that fucking building, what the stuff Gase was putting out, it'd have been fucking straight chaos in there, bro. It'd have been a fucking mutiny. So also the second part of the question is, I think that with Sam, I don't know if he's broken or not. I think that I really see potential in Sam, but I haven't seen him lately. In a lot of the decisions he's been making bad decisions, and that can't be on Gates. That's on Sam. He's making those throws. He's throwing the interceptions. He's making costly mistakes. You watch him, have a few good games, and then you think, okay, boom. Even the last two games he played prior to the last game, I thought that, okay, this is the Sam that I want to see. But then you watch him against the Patriots, and you watch what he does. Then you look at his history against the Patriots in the 6, 7 times he played them. He's done nothing but. I think he's thrown one touchdown against the Patriots. So that shows a lot. Yep. And half their good players aren't even there. So I really, really think that's it. What do you think, Primetime?
Well, I'll start with the power structure and everything like that. So yeah, that was one thing that I like that Chris Johnson said, that he's willing to entertain the power structure. That in theory he's going to let Joe Douglas run this search. That's what you want to hear. But now again, he has to actually let him do it. And at the same time, Joe Douglas is still a relatively unknown. I mean, he's well respected around the league. We have high hopes for him. I have confidence that he's going to execute, this cap space and these draft picks, do some good things with it, but he's still an unknown. He still has a lot to prove here. So from that perspective, I'm a little bit concerned, like I said earlier, about, the length of this search. If they're actually going to take their time vetting all 8 to 10 of these candidates, well, what the hell were they doing the last 2 months? Knowing Gase was going to be fired, why don't they have 1, 2, or 3 guys already at the top of their list ready to present a blank check with? Why risk having your guy in the building for an interview, but then finishing out, 4 or 5 other interviews while that guy goes somewhere else and gets a contract offer? So I'm still a little nervous about that. And then as far as Sam goes, I don't think he's broken. I don't think he comes back this year and, beats 2 playoff teams if he was completely broken. I agree that his confidence at times looked completely shot. He wasn't trusting his vision. He was trying to do too much. Trying to force some throws here and there, but I still think that the natural ability is there. I think the arm strength wasn't there at times this year because clearly he was injured. He said as much. He wants to rest his shoulder for a month, after the season. We never questioned his arm strength prior to the season. He's got the mobility. I think it's just now a matter of playing in the right system. A system that, put him in the right system.
Tyson,
weapons, head coach, up tempo. That's what you need to do. All those things, we have never seen Sam with that. We've never seen him run an up-tempo offense. We've never seen him with a legitimate number 1 wideout. We've never seen him with a head coach that knows what he's doing, running a competent offense. All these other young quarterbacks around the league that we praise as franchise quarterbacks, look what they have. Look what they're working with. Sam has never been put in that position. I get the argument about whether or not he's broken. I don't think he comes back this year like he did last year after the Ghost game, after Mono, like he did his rookie year with the ankle injury. He doesn't come back from these things and play well down the stretch if he's completely broken. He's dying to break out. He's dying for help. That is what he needs.
Well, I
hope
you're
for
right.
Calling in, bro.
If they keep him, man, I appreciate the insight.
Yes, sir. Thanks for calling in, bro. I appreciate it, man. Have a wonderful night,
Coach
man.
Man.
Good
Absolutely.
Talking, man.
Yes, sir, baby.
All right.
All right, next up.
Your man chiming in?
Yeah, he's chiming on the soundboard. He doesn't want to come on and talk, though. That's fine. Next up, we got Mike out in Jersey City. See if Tyson comes on for this one. Usually some fireworks. Mike, what's going on, man?
What's up, Mike?
Guys? How you guys doing?
How you feeling, bro?
So first, I just want to say I think it's fair. I don't really know if it's I'm apologizing, but I do want to say, to give credit where it's due, where it's like, you know what, if anybody watched Sunday and the way Sam Darnold performed, I mean, you got to be sitting there like, nah. Like for every pro there is on to maybe giving him the benefit of the doubt to continue with him, there's 2 cons. And
hold on. I'm going to let you finish, but doesn't Sunday also kind of highlight what we've said all year about Sam?
I'm going to let you finish.
I'm just saying really quick how Sunday highlighted everything we said all year. He was playing well for 3 quarters. He was 19 of 24, playing well the entire game, had a touchdown, no picks. Then Becton gets hurt, Mims gets hurt, Crowder's banged up. Then he's throwing to Jeff Smith and all these nobodies with no offensive line, getting his ass beat every play, and look what happens. Then he starts forcing passes. Then he throws 2 interceptions. So, go ahead.
So the thing is if there's one thing that you can see throughout his career here as a Jet, okay, throughout his career here, there's not one thing that you can say ever that I felt like he was a leader. And I feel like that's like a huge thing, like where he just takes initiative. I feel like this kid is just like, Gase gives him the plays. He talks to Loggins.
All his teammates support him. That tells me he's a leader.
What?
All his teammates support him. You've never seen a teammate fight with Sam Darnold. You've never seen a teammate throw Sam under the bus. He has the respect of his teammates.
You really think half of this team gave a shit that Gase was just fired? No, they didn't. You think, like, come on, that's ridiculous. Anyway,
To say that Sam's not a leader, I think that's ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh shit.
He's a nice kid, man. My God, like, did Sam turn into a Hall of Famer all of a sudden? Like, is he all of a sudden like?
Where has he shown
Jesus
he's a leader?
Christ.
What do you want him to do?
Ridiculous.
Like, I mean, he should throw the ball, catch the ball, block for everybody, call the plays. Let him do it all by himself. That's fine.
We're not gonna get him on prime time. Hey, listen, man. The one thing I will do is say,
Tyrone, you know what I gotta realize, Tyrone. Actually, Mike, finally, I'm on your side. What we all have to realize, in prime time's eyes, Sam is actually Aaron Rodgers. We're just all stupid and don't see it. So we got to understand that when everything goes wrong, it's Gase and everything else. When things go right, Sam Darnold is a Hall of Famer. So once we all recognize that, the show will be so much easier to tolerate. So, Mike, I completely agree with you.
But Mike, no. But the one thing Mike said, the one thing Mike said was Sam was the leader. I disagree with that. I said because Sam is respected by every fucking team.
He's a nice guy, dude. Sam is a nice guy. Is he?
So what's
There's a lot of nice guys that are quarterbacks. Christian was a nice guy. He wasn't respected. Mike Petty was a nice guy. He wasn't respected as a leader.
If he was such a leader,
Darnold is Marcus May.
If he's such a leader, why is Frank Gore getting all the credit for it?
What does Frank Gore have to do with anything with Sam Darnold?
It's very
obvious. He's a running back that's
going
into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and he's being rewarded over and over for the leadership he brought to the locker room because you're not getting it from the quarterback. Sam's a nice guy, and he's just a guy right now. He's not this guy you want him to be right now. He's just not. He's demoralized, heads down the sideline. He's sitting there by himself. How is that going to How is he a leader on a bench by himself?
I never said he is right now.
Of the doubt for this kid to play, the marriage with the Jets and Darnold just needs to end mutually. Like, it's over.
I agree.
Like, yes, I'm not
Completely
saying
agree.
like he didn't develop. We screwed him. Without a doubt, we screwed him. That we screwed him. We screwed him. Unfortunately, that's how it ended up. But to try to, like, force this is just, like, it's over. And I think Fields, like, I'm not trying to be that one-hit wonder and, oh, my God, the game that Fields had versus Clemson. Now I'd rather take him over Wilson now. But, like, God forbid, imagine if he does the same thing against Bama. But the next thing I want to get to is that through these conferences and from what Greg Van Roten said and what the players have been saying on what they're looking for a CEO guy. And apparently they don't care if he's, specifically more OC or more DC minded. And I'm just like, you know what? Like, all right, are we going to make the same? Like, that's all well and good. You want a CEO. But you know what? If you're going to hire one of these coordinators and you're going to draft a new QB, then you better freaking have it be more offensive minded. Like, that's ridiculous. Eric B., Arthur Smith. I mean, I get it. I like Martindale too. But it just takes me back to when, like, Bowles and Darnold, come on. Bowles didn't have a clue. And you wanted him, and he had Bates and Morton or whatever to come in and try to help this kid. Like, we're going to be repeating history here.
But if you have the right kind of coaching, and what they mean by CEO, this means the coach of the whole team. I think what really
then go out and get Campbell. I have no problem with Campbell. I have no problem with Fitzgerald.
I think what they're saying, though, is that Gase wasn't a coach of the whole team. Like, I think Jamal Adams, he said that, when he at halftime, he didn't even address the fucking team. And I think that's what they're more talking about, man, is having a coach that's going to be a coach of the offense, defense, of all three phases of the game. I think that's what they're more looking for. I mean, now, I understand. No, I understand what you're saying. You want an offensive-minded. Listen, I want an innovative offensive mind. I want an innovative defensive mind. I want a coach that's going to build a real staff that's going to make develop these guys better. I don't give a fuck who it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying. Like, you need somebody to come in. But I think what they said that was really important is the coach is going to make the decision on Sam. So if the coach sees something in him that, okay, I can use this, I can make him better. Or if the coach says, nah, it's time to move on. That's just what it's going to be.
Yeah, and that's the thing where we're talking about the structure shift. And my prediction, honestly, because I think that was a question you guys had too, is here's what's going to happen is Joe Douglas is going to round in. He's going to give like a list of all the guys he liked. He's going to, put it in a portfolio. He's going to put it on Chris and Woody's desk. And then they're going to mark off, because bullshit that they won't sit down on an interview. They'll have a tape. They'll have something where they watch the interview someday or sometime, okay? And then they're going to tell Joe Douglas, we like this guy, we didn't like this guy, and then they're going to leave that decision for him on, process of elimination of who they liked and didn't like. Now, I don't know how, I don't really know how, if that's going to benefit, if anything, but I guess I really wish it was 100% Joe Douglas. I wish it was just Chris, give this guy $10 million a year. I love this guy because the fact of the matter is, he's the only football mind there in the front office. So why do I give a rat's ass what Woody or Chris think about the guy, right? So that's my prediction on how that's.
Hey, bro, I appreciate you calling in, man. Thanks for calling in tonight, man. I really appreciate it, bro. Good points and good insight.
Good stuff, Mike.
Good night, bro. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Tyson, you ain't jump in tonight. You're out there jumping in on Mike's side, bro. Trying to dumb a man prime time, man. What's going on, bro?
Well, listen, man, I'm not gonna let if the guy's trying to get a point out, and then Kevin cuts him off immediately, says, "Well, before you get your point, let me just overpower you with my same thing I keep saying."
Because he was talking about Sunday's game. Because he was talking about Sunday's game, and I was saying something relevant to Sunday's game that related to Sam Darnold throughout the entire year.
Talk about Sunday's game because you wanted to overpower him with your same old Darnold story. The poor guy couldn't even get his take out.
I was just following what you do to Steve.
Yeah, but at least Mike has intelligent points.
Hey, man, let's go to the next caller, man.
Next up, we got Tom out in Myrtle Beach. Tom, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Tom? How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling good, man. Gase out the damn door. About time.
Absolutely. So what do you want to see?
What are your thoughts on the head coaching search, man? Where do you think this is going to end up?
Well, I'm not sure where it's going to end up, but it does sound like Chris Johnson at least admitted that he didn't handle it correctly, and I think he's going to leave the options open. But like Tyrone was saying, Martindale is a big name, and he's supposed to be a leader of men, and that's the complete opposite of Gase. Gase, not once all year did I see him talk to anybody besides maybe Darnold. And a head coach.
In that dumbass clip. That dumbass clipboard, right? In that dumbass little tablet he got, bro. That's it. Anything else?
It would be at the point where we were in a one-possession game late, and the defense is on the field, and he's looking at that play sheet. And I'm thinking, you know what I mean? What the fuck? But thank God that is over. And, but yeah, I think Mondale, we need a guy who's a leader, man, who can oversee both sides of the ball. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, listen, I understand that a lot of talk, there's a lot of talk about Martindale being a good leader, good defensive guy. But it seems like there's also, the same things being said about, certain guys like Matt Campbell and a few others who might, cost you a little bit more money. Do you think the Jets would be willing to go that extra mile to get the guy who, cost them that big contract?
Yeah, I mean, like you guys always say, the Jets are very self-conscious about public perception, and from his press conference yesterday, it seems like he's finally admitting, he needs to do better. So unless it's something ridiculous price-wise, I do think they will open the checkbook, and if they're going to give Douglas the power, then I'm hopeful going into it. And another thing I wanted to say is, all the way up until we were 0-10, even 0-11, when we weren't positive we were getting Lawrence, but the year was shot. I was still on the Darnold train. I thought he had the low end of the stick, but towards the end of the year, man, he showed how damaged he is, and I don't know if it's worth giving him back for the money anymore. And I think we almost have no choice but to reset the clock. And if we don't, we have to almost be in win-now mode because, you can only do so much with your quarterback on his rookie deal compared to $25 million. So,
absolutely, I think what the next coach, his contract's going to be the biggest thing. If they give him a 4-year, 5-year deal, something like that, then they're going to reset the clock. Because, you have to basically understand this, resetting the clock and the cap money that we got right now, we're not basically paying anybody. So you bring in a bunch of good players, you're like, look, we're either going to wait if they don't draft a quarterback this year, they're going to give Sam 1 year. But they're looking at it like, yo, I know Joe Douglas and the new coach probably want to reset the clock because it gives you another 4 years before you got to pay a quarterback. So if the guy's pretty good and comes in and can develop, that's why Jacksonville could probably move up fast and become a better team fast because they don't have to pay Trevor Lawrence. So now playing Trevor Lawrence, you can stack your team, build your team up, and get them in a position to start winning. That's the one thing that could be a catalyst to pushing them to want to make that move. But hey, bro, thank you for calling in tonight, man. Really appreciate it, man. We got a bunch of people on hold, bro. So thanks so much for calling, bro.
Hey, I appreciate everything y'all did the whole season. Keep it up, guys.
Hey, bro, I appreciate it.
Appreciate
yes, sir.
The support, man. Thanks for
yes, up, baby.
Take care, guys.
All right. Remind me at some point before the end of the show to get back to that point about resetting the clock on a contract because
but you know, there's a bigger point to that too. You reset the clock with Joe Douglas too. If Joe Douglas trades Sam and then drafts a quarterback, he buys himself a couple years as well. He's buying himself time. He's buying. Everybody's getting a reset. He's getting it. The quarterback, the team, everybody's resetting.
What does that mean?
Yeah, I mean,
it means
that
it's just business. What you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a reset.
I mean,
cool.
no.
But here's the thing, though, really quick.
No.
Like, as far as resetting the clock on the contract for the quarterback, right now, our top 15 contracts. You know who's number 15? Our fucking long snapper, Thomas Hennessy. You know who's also in the top 15? Connor McDermott, who we just re-signed, who's a backup offensive lineman. You know who else is in there? Nathan Shepard on his rookie contract for a third-round pick. And guys in the top 10. Hold on. Van Roten, he's not going to be here next year. You're saving $3.5 million by cutting him.
Yeah, but
Alex
I don't care.
$5.5 million.
I still don't care.
You don't have anybody under contract that's making significant money. Henry Anderson's gone. Who are you paying?
So because we don't have to pay anybody, let's just waste $25 million on a flyer. That's smart business. Let's just throw money around because we have it. No wonder you like Mike McCagnon.
Justin Fields any more or less of a flyer
no
right now?
wonder you like
Sam
Mike
Darnold.
McCagnon, man. You want to waste more fucking money.
How is Justin Fields right now, or Zach Wilson, or anybody any more of a flyer right now than Sam Darnold? Sam Darnold is a 2-year flyer. You take another quarterback. That's a 5-year flyer, and that's a 5-year flyer in place of 4 or 5 premium draft picks that you can get by trading down.
I'll explain it to you. I'll explain it to you for the 35th time.
Right now. Go ahead.
Want me to explain it to you? Okay, I'll explain it to you again because clearly it doesn't get through to your head. It's very easy.
That's right.
I've already seen Sam Darnold in the NFL for 3 years. I haven't seen Justin
2 years
Fields
with Gase. Okay.
No. Let's just call it facts. How many years has he been in the NFL? That's how many years I've seen him. You know what Justin Fields is?
He played 2 years with Adam Gase, who you said is historically one of the worst coaches in football.
You know
worse
what?
than
But you
Chris
can't. You know what? The one thing you can't do.
That doesn't matter.
But there's no. Okay, well, it actually does matter because you can't erase what already happened. It's already happened that we've already seen it. You know what we haven't seen? We haven't seen Justin Fields in the NFL. He's a blank canvas. So the next coach can mold him. You could build around him, and you could all, as an organization, move forward. It's very easy to comprehend. Very, very easy.
And you could still do the same thing with Sam or another quarterback with more assets around that piece.
Who's the other quarterback?
Whoever. I'm talking about building a roster right now. If like I keep saying, if Sam at the end of 2 years is your franchise quarterback, that would be a bonus. At the end of 2 years, though, if you trade back and you're getting an extra 5 premium picks on top of what you have from Jamal, on top of all the salary cap space, with half the teams in the league that can't even afford to sign free agents right now, you're telling me at the end of 2 years you're not going to have a foundation in place where the quarterback is the final fucking piece? That would be
your
it.
problem.
Just find the quarterback.
Here is the problem with your. Here is the problem with your genius idea is halfway through this, you're assuming Sam's going to pan out. Halfway through this season, if he doesn't pan out.
That's the opposite of what I just said. I said that's a bonus.
Can I just get a word out, or you just want to let me know when you want to talk, and I'll come back on. Go to the callers. No, but just let me know when you want to talk. When I can talk, you let me know.
I said at the end of 2 years, Sam will be a bonus. So I'm not panning on.
You guys go ahead.
It's not about Sam panning out. So go ahead.
Okay, you guys go ahead. I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm waiting for you to prove your point, but you're not making one. Next up, Jake Klein.
How can you make a point when all you do is talk over me and repeat yourself for the last 3 fucking months? Like all you do is repeat the same thing and nobody can get a word in. So can I get a word in now, or do you want to just keep sucking Sam's dick here? What do we want to do?
Go ahead.
So the problem is if they get halfway through the season and Sam still acts like a fucking rookie, You're paying him $25 million next year. Okay, but that in your world means nothing because then you'll be the first one bitching, oh, we have no fucking cap. That $25 million to be 2 linemen and a receiver. So then you're spending $25 million on a quarterback you don't want. Then say, God forbid, this team wins 6 games. Now you're going to say, you know what, we got to trade up for a quarterback. Oh, so now all the resources you're trying to get this year, you're going to waste next year to get the quarterback. It's ass backwards. You're fucking narrow-minded. You just do this and just do that. It's all resources, no matter how you look at it. So in your world, he's going to play good. If he keeps doing what he's doing now, which is a pretty good chance.
That's not what I'm saying, though. So
it is what you're saying. You're saying $25 million next year is no big deal. 20 to pick up that 5th-year option is a big deal.
No. First off, we sat on $30 million this year that we didn't even spend.
Who cares?
So the idea that Joe Douglas over the next 2 years is going on for free agent spending spree, that's how he's going to build his team. Do you really think Joe Douglas is building his team through free agency? Do you think Joe Douglas is building his team through free agency, where the $100 million that we're entering this offseason with right now, that can't get us what we need? On top of all the draft picks, we want to build through the draft, right? That's what Douglas has been saying since day one. We already have a lot of picks. We can have even more picks for 2 years. Look at the premium picks you could have if you trade down. With that foundation, you have half your roster on rookie contracts. You can plug and play with free agents however you want. The last piece would be the quarterback. If Sam pans out, that's great. If he doesn't, your roster's set. You can bring in a veteran. You can trade up and draft another quarterback. However you want to do it.
Now we're bringing in veterans.
If Joe Douglas is worth the shit,
we'll go to the veteran quarterback tree. We'll pray. We'll just pick a quarterback off the magical tree and just bring him out. No big deal. If he doesn't pan out, we'll waste $25 million.
Your favorite team over the last 30 years was 98 with Vinny.
But dude, are we looking for a one-hit wonder with a win-now team, or are we rebuilding the right way? But now you want to rebuild with all this shit because you're
talking about rebuilding
Sam.
my entire roster, which has nothing. Sam is a 2-year commitment.
You can do it
Sam
with
is a 2-year commitment. You take a flyer on another quarterback, that's a 4 or 5 year commitment with same questions. We don't know if he's the answer or not. We hope we can develop him.
We don't know if Sam's the answer or not. Because
and we don't know if
going the other way.
Zach Wilson is. So what's more of a risk? Sticking with Sam Darnold for 2 years because you don't want to pay him $25 million when we don't even need to pick up that option. If you're that unsold on Sam,
you got to pick it up by May 5th.
He comes back next year, final year of his rookie contract, make or break. You bring in a veteran to compete with him, and that's your plan. You build your roster.
So now you're gonna bring him back and not pick up his option, so he can hold you. Oh, that's even a worse idea.
I'm saying I want to pick up his option.
God.
You're the one that's fucking worried about $25 million when we're loaded with cap space.
Yeah, because you know what? I'm not stupid like you. $25 million could be 4 fucking players. I don't want to waste on Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's not worth $25 million.
The Jets are going to be in position to win now in 2 years, where we're worried about that. I'm about finding answers on this roster.
You want to build the team.
I'm saying Sam can be a bonus.
You want to build the team. You can get 4 players.
Through free agency? That's how we're building our team?
4 players.
I want to build my team through the draft.
Wait, primetime, we don't have 35 fucking picks, dude. If you had cap space, you spend it and you get players. It's how you win, dude. So now all of a sudden we don't spend any cap space. We're just going to hold it and buy popcorn with it and buy fucking Sam Darnold T-shirts?
Good teams
Seriously?
supplement through free agency. Am I wrong? Good teams build through the draft,
what's
supplement through free agency.
It's going to help supplement your team instead of wasting on Sam Darnold.
And what the fuck do you think 5 premium draft picks is going to do?
Where are 5 premium draft picks coming from? Your fucking magic tree?
From trading down, that's what I'm saying.
And then
you get that kind of offer, 2 1s, 2 2s, and a 3, and you're only moving back to pick 4 or 5, you're not taking that with the state of this roster?
And then you're going to get your quarterback off the magic tree again because you're going to sit there. So all you're doing is you're delaying your quarterback decision another 2 years, and then you're going to panic and give away all the resources you collected to go find your quarterback.
No,
you're delaying the inevitable.
You're using those resources to build your roster over the next 2 years.
You're delaying the inevitable. You need a quarterback, you get the quarterback. They don't have a quarterback.
Then you go trade for your quarterback. The same way the Chiefs traded a future first-round pick and brought Mahomes into a talented situation. The same way the Texans traded a future first-round pick, brought their quarterback into a situation with talent. The same way the Eagles traded a future first-round pick. Like, you can trade up and go get your quarterback. We need a roster. We don't have talent.
You can do both this year. You don't have to wait 2 years to do this plan. You could do it this year and not wait and not just wait and wait and wait. To wait to hope that Sam Darnold becomes a quarterback. I don't want to wait. There's no reason for me to wait. I've already seen enough.
But you keep making it about Sam. I'm making it about the roster.
I do.
That we don't.
Yeah,
who are your building blocks right now?
I can get rid of Sam and build my roster this year.
Who are your building blocks? Where are they coming from?
You just mentioned the cap space and all the draft picks. You can supplement your roster this year and be competitive next year and still win 7 or 8 games. No problem. Without Sam. I'm not
building my roster through free agency. I'll sign a couple guys, a couple prominent free agents.
What are you going to do? Are you going to ask for a discount? You're going to let $90 million sit there?
You don't build your team through free agency.
You don't build your entire roster through free
agency, though. You're going to spend $90 million. You're not building your team through free agency.
What are you going to do with it?
You're supplementing your draft. Good teams would take that $90 million and supplement it around a foundation built through the draft.
Are you giving $90 million back to the NFL? You're writing a check to Roger Goodell saying, you know what, we don't need this $90 million in cap space. We're going to build through the draft instead. Is that what you're going to do?
No, I'm building through the draft, and I'm supplementing through free agency. Simple plan.
So, but you're supplementing with $90 million, dude. That's a fucking lot of supplementing. That's not $10,
exactly.
dude. You get a lot of players $90 million.
You can sign prominent guys. You can sign Scherf. You can sign Allen Robinson. You can get a couple prominent free agents. I'm not saying you can't.
Couple with $90 million? You do a lot more than a fucking couple.
Somebody goes quick, dude. Get out of here. Are you serious? You don't think Scherf's costing me like $15 million a year?
So wait, let me get this straight. So Allen Robinson's going to be $45 million in cap space this year, and Scherf is $45 million in cap space. I mean, are we serious here? Have you not watched any fucking creative accounting in the NFL yet?
I'm going back to what you said last year when we had $100 million, how we couldn't build our entire roster through free agency.
You can build through the roster and the draft. We're not going to be a Super Bowl team this year. That's just a fact.
Which is why I want to build through the draft.
Upgrade the talent base.
Accumulate draft picks.
You can upgrade the. All right, go back to the cars. I give up, man. I completely give up.
Y'all have me rolling. Let's get back to the callers, fellas. Y'all are sitting here. This is went from a live show to a live argument over Sam.
Jake, you still there? What's up, man?
Wait, is it me?
Yeah.
Hello? Oh,
yeah. What's up, dude?
Well, good evening, guys. I didn't mean to walk into the Lions den. I was going to say something, but I'd rather.
No, take it on your mind.
First. Not for you guys take a break, but Tyrone, I need to ask you a question. Were you entertained? I just need to ask. Were you entertained?
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, bro.
I am very happy to hear that. I'm very happy because I'm going to make things very simple for all of us right here. If he has a very good game next Monday, he will be the quarterback. Plain and simple. I'm sorry to tell you guys this. He will be the quarterback. You will not say no to this. This guy. The fact that we are getting to the point now where people on the news are actually saying, maybe if Urban Meyer goes, would he consider? The fact that it won't happen, but it will even be up for discussion, shows you the respect. Justin Fields deserves his respect. Unless you want to say otherwise.
And if the new head coach wants him and thinks that he fits his system and he can build an offense around him, I'm perfectly fine with it. I still think you have to answer the phone calls and field offers for that pick. If he's lighting it up at the combine and you can get something crazy back, and your head coach maybe has a belief in Sam or another quarterback that you could draft by trading down, I think all options have to be on the table because of the state of the roster.
Yeah, I will definitely consider it, but at the same time, prime time, you're right. Tyson, you're right. And Tyrone, sorry, you're not right about Fields, but I'll give you that.
Nobody's wrong. I mean, nobody's wrong. Like, there are multiple ways to build a winner. It's a matter of how Joe Douglas and the new coach want to go about doing it.
Hold on.
I'm going to make
Now, I'm going to say this right here.
Tyrone was wrong.
I'm not going to take. No, he had a good game. I'm not going to take that from him. But I'm not going to sit here and say that, he had one good game. Well, you know what I'm saying? What about the 2 games he had against good quality teams and played bad? So we're going to see what happens when he goes against Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the kid has 6 touchdowns, bro. Shit I can say about that, bro. And he's tough as nails, bro, because he took one. I still don't think he's the right quarterback for us right now. I feel that way. But I'm not making the decisions. But I'm not going to say that if we took him, I'll be mad. No, I'm not. I mean, the kid's
so
a good quarterback.
Who's the right quarterback for him now, Tyrone?
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have that decision to be made. I have no clue.
No.
I understand.
If you're confident that Justin Fields is not going to be, he's not the right quarterback for us now, you have to have somebody in mind. Who is it?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? If I had a choice in the battle, you know what I'm saying? If I had a choice, it's 2 options I would either do. I would take Fields at 2, or I would trade back and
You just said he's not the right guy.
You just said it, dude.
He's the second best He's the second best
Wait, no.
quarterback
What
in the draft. So
what just happened here?
So what about if I'm no, listen. If I'm drafting a quarterback, if I'm listen to what I'm saying, let me finish. If I'm drafting a quarterback, Fields would be who they would take. I didn't say me. That's who they would take.
And now, I asked who you are going to take.
If I'm in that decision, if I'm drafting a quarterback, I'm going to take Fields. If I don't draft a quarterback, I'm going to trade back and I'm going to keep Sam. I'm not making that fucking decision.
Tyrone, hold on, Tyrone.
I'm not the guy. No, you're not going to catch me in the trap,
I'm just asking
buddy.
you a question. I'm asking you a question. Okay, let's just make sure we're clear here. Right now, on January 5th.
I need a good laugh for that.
Who do you think should be the quarterback for the New York Jets on January 5th? Who is the guy that you want to be the quarterback?
Sam Darnold.
Okay, there you go, Jake. I got it out of him.
Okay.
Well,
then let me
I'm going to be real with you. But no, Jake, I understand what you're saying.
Tyrone, you had your chance. You had your chance. So what do you have to say?
Let him talk.
I heard your argument, man. I want to talk now. So let me talk now, okay? Yep. Let's make something very clear right now. The Northwestern game, guess what? Pat Fitzgerald is going to probably get head coaching consideration. So, and not to mention, he had none of his players. So let's throw that fucking game out the door now. I'm tired of this argument, okay? This guy, his last season without COVID, had 41 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And he got his revenge this year against Clemson. He sliced and diced and dominated the generational talented quarterback. Otherwise, he has been a monster. So I really don't know why we have to say, well, the 2 games are going to be this type. No, because guess what?
No, can I ask you a question?
Trevor Lawrence, I will agree, played a good game, got outplayed. He got fucking outplayed by a guy that has been in the league. Sure, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? Okay, let me ask you a question. How many touchdowns did Sam Darnold throw in the Rose Bowl, man?
How many touchdowns did Sam throw? 4 or something like that?
No, he threw fucking 6. He threw 6.
Okay.
So
how do you do?
So a good game.
How do you do it against Ohio State?
A good game means shit.
He was absolutely atrocious.
So what will he do against Alabama? Listen, bro. Listen, I'm not going to argue with you. The kid's a good quarterback.
I just said if he does well against Alabama, we have to consider it. So I'm up for consideration then.
No,
he's already
in consideration because he's the second best hands down. He's the second best quarterback in this draft. Hands down. The kid from BYU he didn't play no fucking body. So I definitely wouldn't want him at all. But what I'm saying to you is this. Yeah, I mean, to me, I think he's the kind of quarterback. I think Fields he would benefit better if he got drafted and he was able to sit a year instead of being forced in. I mean, you talk about bringing Fields to the same.
He's not sitting a year.
But hold on.
Not sitting a year, dude. You got to get that in your head already.
Exactly. That's what I just said. He would be better off. Just listen for a minute, bro. Stop trying to prove a point. Just listen. He would be better off if he's set for a year. He's going to come in. So say we draft Field and you put Field with the same fucking team that we had last year, bro. Would he win? Would he be able to come in and win with Adam Gase's offense in the lack of receivers that we had? Would he win? He's in college football playing with some of the best players in the fucking country. That's why he's good. He outplayed Trevor Lawrence, but it wasn't all him. That game was won in the trenches. Their defensive line and their offensive line destroyed Clemson. That's why the fuck they won so easily, bro. So let's be real here, bro. Let's not just paint this picture like he was out there just, you know what I'm saying, he put the team on his back and he carried them. That's not the fucking case. They were a better team on the defensive line and the offensive line. That's why the fuck they won that game. Now, they're not going to have that luxury against Alabama because them are some fucking dogs on both sides. That's going to be a good physical football game. So if he shows up there, absolutely, I'm not knocking the kid, so he's not a bad quarterback. But don't sit there and tell me, man, this kid, just because he had more talent on his team that makes him a better quarterback. It's bullshit. It's not true. It's not true. And yeah, he had a bad game. Every quarterback's going to have a bad game. Trevor Lawrence just realized what it's going to be like to play for Jacksonville next year. He's going to feel that shit. It is what it is. But to say that Justin Fields right now is more talented than Sam is bullshit. It's not. You know what I'm saying? All these college teams get thrown in this bubble, and this guy is so good. He's playing with the best players in college, some of the best receivers in college, the best running back, the best defensive line. All these guys, 5-star picks out of high school, bro. Let's be serious here, bro. So when a team like Ohio State beats,
you want to make the argument about Sam Darnold? Let's put it this way: Sam Darnold had turnover problems in college. Sam Darnold's having turnover problems now in the NFL. Justin Fields doesn't have turnover problems. You know what quarterbacks succeed in the NFL? Ones that don't turn the ball over. Don't make mistake-free football. They're the ones that survive. Can Sam Darnold... Let me put it this way. What he did against New England this weekend, I wrote it in the chat this weekend. What was the last time Sam Darnold, before, even his first rookie year, did anything against New England? Which right now, New England's the number 3 team in this division right now. 3. Dog shit. Miami's defense, dog shit. Against the Bills, semi-dog shit. Maybe he's done okay with that. How am I convinced? So is he that much better? I still like him, but I am not going to sit here and sacrifice 2 years like Tyson said. I agree with him. This is a clean blank canvas. This is your chance to take a kid that should have been the number 1 pick this year. I've said this over and over again. He's not sitting here, bro. Nowhere.
Over Trevor Lawrence?
No, I said he'd be the number 1 pick overall. Dude, no, listen. I said he would be the number 1 pick if it wasn't Trevor Lawrence. If it wasn't because of a generational talent. We had this argument.
But, bro, that coulda, woulda, shoulda shit ain't real, bro. He's not the number 1 pick. Trevor Lawrence is, right?
I don't understand what you're talking about. Coulda, woulda,
shoulda. No,
so
you're saying that he would have been the number 1 pick if Trevor Lawrence wasn't there, right?
1,000%. 1,000%.
Okay, but that shit ain't real because he's not going to be the number 1 pick, right?
Yeah, but what's your point?
He's not going. No, my point is,
I don't understand your argument.
My argument is this. Listen, you're saying if Trevor Lawrence wasn't there, he'd be the number 1 pick, right? Okay, well, Trevor Lawrence is there, so he's not going to be the number 1 pick. We're saying that if Sam Darnold had a competent coach, a good offensive line, maybe some weapons, maybe he would play better. That's what we're saying. That could have factor shit means nothing. Don't get me wrong. He's the second best quarterback in this draft.
But you're saying the same. But you're saying the same. You're saying the same could have stuff too, Sam. Tyrone. You're saying. You're saying the same thing for Darnold. If Sam
me in the balls for saying this shit.
No, if Sam had this, if Sam had that, if Sam had this, he could be good. Yes. It's the same argument.
Yes. Exactly.
So so it's the same argument. But the only thing is, Sam's been here 3 years.
You kicked me in the nuts for saying it. Exactly. You just kicked me in my nuts for saying that. That was the whole point I was making, Tyson. Like I said, man, the coulda, woulda shit means nothing. Like I said, if it's time for Sam to go, I understand Sam has to play good football. I understand that. I understand. And I said this at the beginning of the show. I said that, the decisions he make is not on Gase, it's on Sam. The interceptions, the bad passes, the missing open receivers, that's on him. Bad decisions, that's on him. He got to eat that shit. I'm not making no excuses for him, but I'm saying that if I had a choice between Sam and Fields, I'm choosing fucking Sam. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm choosing Sam because to me, I don't think Fields is ready for us right now. We're rebuilding, but it makes sense to take Fields because we're rebuilding. So I understand both sides of what you guys are saying because if you take Fields, you reset the clock, you put good players around him, and you hope this kid develops into something good. I understand that. That makes logical sense. I understand we're keeping Sam and trading back. It makes logical sense. But we don't make the fucking decisions. It's just my opinion, which means absolutely shit. I'm just saying if I was making decisions, that's what I would do. I don't have a dog in the fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be mad or happy either fucking way. But what it comes down to is having the right coach in place to groom whoever the fuck we take. You feel me? To build around them. Like, if you take somebody like Fields, you got to build your offensive line. You got to get receivers in. You got to get a solid tight end. And you got to get a good running game. That's what the next coach is going to do. Because what you do with a young quarterback, you get a fucking running game, you fix your line. You help him. You make the shit easy for him. You have, you know what I'm saying? You have motions so you can make easy throws for this kid to get these kids in rhythm. This is the problem we don't do. This is what's important. That's the only point I'm trying to make. I understand where you're coming from, man. Fields played a hell of a fucking game. But the factors of why he won are a little different. Now, if he goes out there and does the Alabama shit, sorry, Sam, gotta go there, big fella. But, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But I disagree with you completely saying that Fields will not sit next year. He will start anywhere he goes. He will start.
No,
He's
I
ready to go.
I didn't say he was going to sit. I said it would be beneficial to him, like Patrick Mahomes, to sit. That's all I said. That's it. I didn't say he was, bro. If he's going number 2, number 3, number 4 in the draft, he's playing, pimp. Believe that. He's not getting no crash course. It would serve him better if that was to happen, but it's not going to happen. So I understand.
Patty Mahomes and Andy Reid was an anomaly. That was a complete anomaly.
Absolutely.
Clearly, it's not working with anybody else. Justin Herbert came in and absolutely dominated.
Hey, look, if we had the coach KC had, bro, it would be a whole different ball game. We could win with any fucking quarterback he got, bro. That's a coach, man. That's a coach that makes players better.
The point I'll agree with you 100%, and I've said this over and over, and I said this on my rant last week. We need a CEO coach. We don't get the right CEO coach on this team, then all this argument is completely for shit. Completely.
Yep. So who do you want to be? Who are you looking for to be the head coach? Who will be your first choice?
Who's my first choice? I mean, the Cowher would obviously. First off, I really don't understand all this Sean Payton stuff. How on earth did we get connected to Sean Payton? Did we have like a salami sandwich with like Joe Douglas or something? Because I don't know why on earth he'd even be considered a Jets option. That's number one.
Well, I guess in theory, if Breeze retires and he might want, a fresh start somewhere else, make a trade offer for Saints. But I don't think that's happening either. So yeah.
No, he's not coming to this shit. So he's staying with competency and a good ownership. He'll take the Cowboys job. That's his dream job. He'll never leave any team except for the Cowboys. The number one coach I think we should take is Cam. I think Campbell's going to be the guy. I think all roads are leading to Campbell. I think Sally's going to go to the Falcons. I think Dayball, the enemy is going to be between L.A. and Houston. Casario is going to probably try to get Dayball because of his New England roots. I think that's going to happen there. And I think the Lions will take maybe they'll get Harbaugh. There's a possibility from the Michigan route. But I think it's going to be Campbell. Or maybe Martindale. I don't love Martindale, but that's just inevitable. Just please don't make like Marvin Lewis a head coach. I'm going to literally jump off a bridge about it.
Jake, good stuff, man.
Good call, bro. Have a good night, man.
All right.
Hey, enjoy the game Monday, bro. Enjoy the game Monday, bro.
I'll be thinking of you, big
guy. I know you'll be calling Tuesday. I know you'll be calling Tuesday talking shit. Hey, and you better call Tuesday too, goddammit. You better call either way.
I bring it, man. Don't you worry about that. I'll bring it.
All right, bro. You have a good night, bro. Thanks for calling, man.
Good night, guys.
You see how Tyson just trying to pick fights and shit? And then just jumps off the phone prime time? Yo.
While tensions are high, we might as well bring on Steve. Let's just keep going.
Oh.
There goes momentum.
What's going on?
What's up, you guys? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing good. So, finally, it's all over. Adam Gase is gone. It's time for the next coach to come in.
So who do you have in mind for the next coach, Steve?
Here's the thing. I know everybody's all talking about Eric Bieniemy, but if one coach I really, really would love to come in and be the next coach, I love Arthur Smith.
Why?
What do you like about him?
Well, if you look at what he has done to Ryan Tannehill, if you watch Tennessee Titans games and you watch what he has changed in Ryan Tannehill after when Ryan Tannehill was with Miami and everybody all called him trash. Arthur Smith.
So what do you do? What do you do with Ryan Tannehill? He gave him Derrick Henry, who runs the ball 35 times a game.
Yeah, but look at all the weapons he's also surrounded around him. It's A.J. Brown and Corey Davis. He literally had the system that Ryan Tannehill needed.
Oh, so wait,
did
Arthur Brown go? Did he go draft them or sign them or something? He didn't sign. That's nothing to do with him. They were already there. He didn't bring him in.
Well, yes, they were all. Yeah, but listen, they were already there. But this offensive coordinator changed Ryan Tannehill's career. And if Sam is still our quarterback, I think Arthur Smith does the same thing for Sam. Sam is still our quarterback.
How?
Is he bringing Derrick Henry with him?
He can't bring a player like Derrick Henry, but one thing that Joe Douglas can do is that you got to build that offensive line around Tyson. But I mean, Joe Douglas has to be aggressive in the draft and in free agency. Listen, we got cap space, we've got picks. He's got to be aggressive.
I think Tyrone would be a good offensive coordinator if I gave him a good offensive line and Derrick Henry. I think any quarterback would look good play action past them, but that's just me.
I know. I mean, see, please explain this one, man. What did he do to really make Tannehill better? I mean, I don't get that because I know they have a great offensive line. Derrick Henry runs the ball. I mean, if we look at the playoffs last year, I think it was one game where Tannehill threw for like 65 yards. So how do you make him any better? I don't get that.
Well, listen, that was when it was in the AFC title game. But listen, if you look at this, Tyrone,
the most important game of the year.
Tyrone, hang on one minute. Let me just say something, man. It's just, listen, I love his style of football. I love the way how he worked around Tannehill. Like when Tannehill came in, and after when they put Mariota on the bench in Tennessee, when Tannehill turned around, it fit his system. And I think that if Joe Douglas gets Arthur Smith and brings him in, and if Sam is still the quarterback, I will guarantee you that Arthur Smith and Joe Douglas are going to build the team right around Sam.
I mean, if that's your opinion, I appreciate that, Steve. Like I said, having Derrick Henry, man, I'm sorry, man, that shit gonna make any coach different, bro. Because that kid is he's a fucking monster, bro. He's a monster.
No, I agree, Henry's a monster. But Tyrone, I got a question, man. Who would you like as the Jets' next coach, man? And you could be honest with me, man.
Wait, can we talk about Tannehill just for 1 second? Steve, in their loss to the Green Bay Packers, how many passing yards do you think Tannehill had?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I knew it was Tannehill's worst game of the season. But that was one bad game he had. Say that one more time.
121.
He had 121. All right, listen, That's one game though. One game. He's had a lot of other amazing games.
He's got one game with 147 yards,
Tyson.
one game with 158 yards, 195 yards.
Well, Steve, you asked me who I want. I want Martindale.
Yes.
I would be honest with you. That's Martindale is my first choice. I wanted Eric the Enemy for a while, but after really doing some research on Eric the Enemy, No. Bill Cowher was my first choice. I'm just going to put that out there. I've been saying that. A guy like Cowher would really change everything for me. But Martindale is definitely somebody I think that we're going to end up getting that I wouldn't be mad with at all. I think he's a leader of men. I think Cowher's a leader of men. I think even when we got Harbaugh, he's a leader of men. I think, these younger guys, they don't really, I don't know them personally. I just know what I see. It's going to be hard to come in and fix all the problems that we have without having a very strong-minded and a very, one-way coach. That's what we need. We need a one-way coach. We need a coach that's not going to take any. And this team has bad habits. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a team that has bad habits, guys late for meeting, guys not hustling, guys not giving them 100%, not holding guys accountable, that's something that we got to fix in this organization and this team. And that's something a new head coach is going to have to fix from day one. That's why they always say get your guys in the building. We to the point now that we have a roster that basically. Nobody, you're not going to be able to recognize nobody. I think the only people that's going to be there is really our rookies. I think Crowder gets let go. I think a few people get let go. That's going to really change things. So, but that's who I would pick. That's who I think we're going to end up getting. So, but Steve, man,
all right.
Hey,
listen, bro. Tyrone. Hey, Tyrone, that was a great take, man. Good job, man, and keep up the good work.
Hey, man, thank you, bro. Happy New Year, bro. You be easy, all right?
Happy New Year, man.
Have a good New
Year.
All right,
bro. Have a good one.
No, we got through that one with minimal fighting. Next up, we got Lateef out in New York. Lateef, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going,
bro? Hey,
not too bad, man. How are you?
Good show. Glad that Gase is gone. I felt we have 2 years wasted with him. And I agree with you guys. We got to get this next pick right. I don't know who it is, but we got to get it right.
What's your preference?
Who would you want?
man. You know what? It sounds like, Martindale's going to be the guy. I'm not opposed to him. I don't want any retreads. I hear like Jim Caldwell out there. I don't want those guys. I mean, I don't know. The college guys, I don't have anything against those guys. I think Fitzgerald's a good coach. I think Campbell's a good coach. But I don't know. It's hard. I don't think.
Do you have confidence in the process that they're going to go through as far as Joe Douglas actually running it to land on the right guy?
I do. I think McCagnon, he was a bad GM. And people can say what you want about the ownership, and don't get me wrong, I know ownership is bad, but I think from what I'm hearing is McCagnon wanted Gase, and then Johnson just signed off on it. So Douglas, everything I hear about Douglas, he's a good guy. He knows football. So I think Joe Douglas will get it right. And I think we need that CEO type. I don't want the offensive guru. I don't want a defensive guru. We need a CEO type.
You want to coach, absolutely,
yeah.
Man. That's something that we really need, man. We need to coach. Anything else?
But I have to agree. I have to agree with Tyson. I think we have to turn the page on Sam, because you got to think a brand new coach coming in, he's going to want to hook his wagon to his own guy. So
for all that I defend Sam Darnold, I'll keep saying it. If a new head coach looks at Justin Fields and says 1,000%, I can work my offense around him, or whoever my offensive coordinator is, I can win with him. He's a franchise guy for the next 10 to 15 years. You have no questions about him. He aces the interviews, looks good in the combine. You trust the film. All of it checks out. Take him. I have no issue with that at all. But I still think you're sitting there at 2. You're going to get plenty of phone calls for that pick. And looking at the state of the roster right now, you have to weigh those options. If you have any doubts at all about Justin Fields or Wilson, whoever it is, and you still think you can build around Sam, or maybe you like a quarterback next year or the year after, and you trust what you can build as far as trading down, getting pieces, I think all options have to be on the table. But whatever the new coach wants to do, I'd be on board with it.
And I think a new coach is going to say, look, this is my, say somebody like Bieniemy or even Brady, they have 3 years on Sam already. They're going to try to, you know what, this is my first shot. It could be my only shot at being a head coach. I know what Sam is. I'll try it with Fields. I like Wilson personally. I'll try it with Wilson. Yeah. I'll take my chances with these guys because I know what Sam is. I don't think a new coach is going to take a chance of trying to.
Yeah, that's also the thing, though. Once you take that shot, you can't take it again for at least, 3-4 years? So, if a new coach comes in, Sam still wouldn't be his quarterback. You know what I mean? He takes that shot now on Fields. He's with Fields, probably until he gets fired or wins something. That would be his guy. So once you take that chance, you really can't do it again.
He's talking
with Zach Wilson, even Zach Wilson.
He's talking about the coach getting his shot to be a head coach. Is that what you're talking about, brother? You're talking about the coach, right?
Yeah, say
coach,
if the enemy comes in and he says,
this is one
Joe
shot.
Douglas says, look, who would you want? You think you can fix Sam, or would you rather go with Fields or Wilson? The enemy's probably saying, well, you know what? I've seen Sam already. I know what he is. I know he doesn't have any weapons. I know Gase was a terrible offensive guy. But you know what? I don't know what Fields is. I don't know what Wilson is or what I see in college. Yeah. I'd rather hook my wagon to those guys and see, this could be my only shot. I want to see what I can do. I'd rather mold this guy and as opposed to, of course, any brand new head coach is going to be like, yeah, I can fix Sam, I can do this, I can do that. But I think if they had their preference, they would go with a Fields and they go with a Wilson. And Sam only has one more year left on his contract. You can't go, you can't waste a year hoping Sam gets it.
No, what I was saying really quick, what I was saying is that, for a new head coach, they wouldn't even necessarily be aligning themselves or committing to Sam Darnold going forward. They just, it would be an empty canvas as far as quarterback. Maybe Sam's the guy. No. Maybe they get a guy a year or two from now. But I'm saying if you take Fields now, that's definitely your guy for the next 4 or 5 years. So you better be damn sure he's it. Because you can't take somebody next year or the year after if you're committing with Fields. If you stick with Sam for another year or two, it's not really a commitment. You're building your roster, you're evaluating your team, and maybe at the end of it he's the guy, but you're not aligning yourself with Sam Darnold. He doesn't have to be your guy going forward.
Yeah, but you kind of aligning yourself.
Yeah, because you only
you're all kind of aligning because if you're a brand new coach, and you waste 1 year with Sam, if the Jets don't,
you only get 3 years. You only get 3
exactly.
years, 2-3 years.
Gase got 2.
So you got to.
Rose got 3. Or 4. You're only getting 3 years. So you don't want to waste 1 year. Okay, the Sam project didn't work. Now I got to go and find a retread or another guy in the next year's draft.
Yeah.
They'd rather.
Yeah, that's a hell of a point, man. I didn't even listen. That eluded me right there, bro. You know what? I mean, that's great call, man. Listen, because think about it. If you're a head coach, man, you're only getting one shot at this, right? So would you really want to hit your wagon to Sam, not knowing, you know what I'm saying? If you do think Sam doesn't work out, you lose the whole fucking year. Yeah, you've built your roster up, but now you got to go get a hold of the quarterback. So just grabbing the quarterback.
But that's also what I'm saying, though. If you build your roster, you're not wasting anything. You have your roster in place. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but if you're starting from scratch, because listen, prime time, we both know after free agency with $90 million. Well, listen, they say we got $70 million of cap money right now, right? After we get rid of Henry Anderson, Crowder's probably gone because he's $10.5 million against the cap. He's probably gone. A couple other players are probably gone. We're gonna probably be about $111 million. You know what I'm saying? In the free agency or in a market to where every team's going to be over the cap because the cap's going to be lower. So it's going to be a lot of great players getting cut. You can everything that we need is going to be done before the draft. So the draft, we're actually going to be drafted for luxury. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Now, this is the perfect year that we could snag some players that wouldn't be available in previous years.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind moving back, though, because you'll be able to get like a number one receiver, but we'll probably pick up Robinson because we'll have money to be able to bring him in. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's going to definitely be something interesting to see this year, but you got to factor that in, man. Like, everything that we need for going to the draft, it's going to already be done. So that decision on Sam is definitely probably going to be on the coach if he feels that he can hit his wagon to him. Because think about it, if you keep Sam for a year, it doesn't work out. Then next year you got to get the whole new quarterback. So what Tyson was saying, you got to use all your resources that you just gathered to move up to go get the quarterback you want. You know what I'm saying? Unless you keep Sam and draft somebody like the kid out of Florida in the 3rd round or something like that, and hope you can develop him. But look, we already seen Morgan. He hasn't even hit the fucking field this year, so you don't even know what you have with him. You know, he might not even be on the team. Absolutely, because the new coach might be like, look, man, this kid's horrible. We don't want him. Let him go. You know what I'm saying? You know, so that's a lot to factor in.
Yep, good talking to you.
Hey, thanks for calling, bro.
Thanks for
that. Have a good call, bro.
Keep up a good one.
Hey, man, appreciate it, bro.
You're lucky we're up against the clock. Otherwise, I would roast the shit out of you for that draft for luxury comment. There is no way with 100 million. I don't care how much cap space. We are not drafting for luxury this year. But moving along with the phone calls, Solomon in Texas, what's up, man?
What's going on, bro?
How you doing, man?
What's going on, man? Solomon?
You hear me?
What's up, man?
You guys hear me?
Yep.
All right,
your mind, man.
All right, can we get off this whole Darnold thing? I mean, the guy can't even stay healthy for a full season. He has yet to play a full 16-game season. On top of that, there's a lot of quarterbacks coming out this draft. I mean, you got Lawrence, you got Wilson, you got a guy like Mac Jones. You can probably get in the late 1st round. You got a guy like Trey Lance, who's got all the potential in the world. So there's a lot of QBs coming out. So I don't understand the whole thing of keeping Darnold for another year and see how he pans out.
I definitely understand.
No, listen,
like, you know, I mean,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Professor. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the same argument I've been saying is that, you know, new head coach wants to come in. They're sold on one of these quarterbacks. Doesn't even have to be Fields. It could be Zach Wilson. It could be trading down, taking, you know, Kyle Trask, whoever. If they're sold on somebody, I wouldn't be mad at all. I'm just saying you got to consider all options. I think you're in a very fortunate position right now, picking second with all your cap space plus all those Jamal picks. You can look at it and say, you know what, we have enough assets to build around a new quarterback, so we could start fresh. Or you could say we could have even more assets to double down at all these premium spots where we need, you know, 2 receivers, 2 offensive linemen, 2 pass rushers, 2 corners, and we could really set our foundation. I think it's a fascinating debate. So what were you going to say?
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense because if you look at what the Chiefs did, they pretty much did what you're saying. They took a Tyreek Hill, they got a Travis Kelce, and all these playmakers. Then
traded up in the draft with Patrick Mahomes. And, you know, he hit the ground running, essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, also, man, think about it, prime time. What if somebody like Miami wanted to move up one spot? So what if Miami offered us the 18th pick in the draft and number 40-something, you know what I'm saying, to move up to go get the right tackle, the left tackle they need. So, but, man, thanks for calling, bro. We got to try to get everybody on before we get them off here, man. Thanks for calling, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it. Good talking to you, man.
Yep.
All right, next up we got Eric out in California. Eric, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Did I fucking miss the food fight? I heard that you guys were going at it.
You missed a lot of chaos over the last 45 minutes.
Yeah, boy. Hey, they were going at it, bro. I'm sitting back relaxing. But what are you thinking, man? What about Gase being gone, man? How you feel, bro?
I'm ecstatic, like everybody else is. Where's Tyson at? Because I had to tell him that I think I finally switched over to his side with regard to Sam.
Welcome aboard.
This last game really kind of did it for me. And I know he's not 100% healthy, but the guy just misses too many throws, man. Like he does things that just fucking blow your mind with talent, and then he misses guys. Like he had a Perryman on like a hook route, and he threw it. You know, he was wide open. He threw it like 8 yards over his head. After that, I turned it off. I'm like, I'm fucking done. I'm done with this guy. And not because I don't, you know, I wanted him to succeed. I'm from Southern California. I actually, you know, I know some of his relatives. I wanted so bad for him to succeed as the quarterback of the Jets. It just doesn't seem to be going that way. Now, unlike some of your previous callers, and I disagree with some of the things that you guys just said earlier, the game has skewed so much towards the offensive side of the ball. I want an offensive coach, not someone like Gase who is fucking like on the spectrum and is always, autism spectrum and is always like looking at his fucking notes and doesn't talk to anybody. Not somebody like that. Somebody with people skills. Somebody who's a leader. If Brian Daboll's that guy, that would be my number one choice. Matt Campbell is somebody to keep an eye out for, guys. I know he's a college dude. The guy is a fucking dude. He is a leader, man. He commands respect. And he's taken a trash program like Iowa State and made them competitive in a Power 5 conference. Somebody like that is somebody to keep your eye on. Now, if we decide to invest wholly into the offensive line and sign somebody like Tooney and the fucking other guy, the other Sheriff, or however you say his name, I don't have a problem with bringing in somebody like Arthur Smith, somebody who's going to be a run-first guy. But ultimately, I want the coach. I want an offensive coach, and for that person to pick the new quarterback. If for some reason that guy says, hey, I could work with Sam. This guy's the guy. You know, Sam's the guy for us moving forward. All right. I'm kind of hoping that they go in the draft and pick either Wilson or Fields. I have Wilson slightly above Fields. That guy has magic to him. I think he's going to be a star. Fields, I'd like to see what he does against Alabama. If he fucking kills Alabama and the new coach says, you know, I want to draft Fields, I'm all about it, man. I'm totally for it.
Absolutely,
Eric,
bro.
great stuff, man.
Hey, man, thanks for calling, bro. You have a good night, bro.
See you.
All right, so we got about 5 callers left. We got about 15 minutes, so figure 3 minutes. Floor is yours. Marco in Westchester.
Oh, what's up, guys? Love your show.
How you doing, man?
So, not too bad. Happy New Year. So, very happy Gase is gone. My God, what a wonderful time in my life. So, I think what the Jets need is a running back. I think we're really lacking the running game. Granted, we had Hall of Famer Frank Gore. He's going to go down as one of the greatest of all time. But we need a running back. We need to build our offensive line because, you know, the running game will open up the passing game. If we can get a solid running game going, we can run play action. That'll open up a passing game. That'll give whoever the quarterback is, whether it's Sam, whether it's Justin Fields, whether it's whatever asshole we decide to pick up in the draft, it'll give them a shot to make plays, to move the ball down the field effectively. And in regards to the head coach,
look
we need
at how
a
Mark
CEO
Sanchez succeeded
leader
early
of
in
men.
his career. He had an offensive line and a running game. That did it for him.
Exactly. An offensive line, a dominant running game that we could just pound the rock the entire time. And for a head coach, we need a CEO. We need a leader of men. I completely agree with what you, Tyson, have been saying. That's what we need. And we need somebody who's willing to go in there, bring in an offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator that knows football. We need a genuine football guy. I'm not opposed to Jim Harbaugh. I don't think we're going to get Bill Cowher. On Rich Eisen's show, he had mentioned bringing in Bill Cowher. I think he reached out to him, and Bill Cowher's like, "Dad, I'm not going to come into this fucking team," which I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to come out of retirement and fucking coach the Jets. That sounds like a fucking nightmare scenario. So that I feel is what we need to focus on: a strong offensive line, a strong running game, a few defensive pieces, and a CEO head coach that's confident enough in hiring an OC and a DC that is going to put together a good enough scheme to win enough games for us next season.
Marco, very well said. Great call, dude. Appreciate you calling in.
Thank you. Good night, guys.
Have a good night.
Good night. Have a good night, bro.
All right, next up, we got Dylan out in Long Island. Dylan, what's on your mind?
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Hanging in, man. How are you?
Good. I've been listening for some time, and it's a good conversation. A lot of agreement and disagreement. And it's really fun to listen to. So,
appreciate it.
I'm happy that Gase is fired. So, either Matt Campbell or Brian Dable. Matt Campbell, because he's a program builder. Obviously, I don't know how that will translate into the NFL. But he was able to build up Toledo. He was able to build up Iowa, and I think overall he has a great, genuine relationship with his players. Brian Dable, I think if Matt Campbell is not willing to come to the Jets, I hope we can pay enough money for Brian Dable to come. He obviously did a very good job developing Josh Allen and giving him the weapons and the right play calling that he needs. Both, in my opinion, both are very solid. I think Tyson was mentioning Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton's out of the reach. I don't think he would want to come to the Jets because even if Drew Brees is retiring, I think he has a really good relationship with the owners there, and the owners actually know what to do. So I think that road is cut off. In terms of Bill Cowher, I think because we lost the number one pick, I think the need to come here, or maybe the opportunity to come here, the value goes down because that number one pick is so important. And then I think that I think Steve said Arthur Smith. Caller Steve said Arthur Smith.
Yep.
I don't think he realizes that he has Derrick Henry in like a top 5 offensive line, and I wasn't impressed by him because when you have the best running back in the league, I mean. And that O-line that he runs behind is just that opens hole for him like any time that he needs to go. And the fact that he's like a truck, a freight train coming at you full speed, like that's so unrealistic. Like Tyson said, unless he's coming with him, unless Derrick Henry is coming with him, I don't want Arthur Smith. And then Joe Brady, I was a little bit skeptical about because a lot of people are saying that he would be the right guy. I think a lot of people don't want him because he's a young guy and he has a lack of experience, like unlike guys like maybe Andy Reid or maybe Sean Payton, who's like been in the league for like a lot of years and they've seen everything, like all the offenses, all the schemes, all the defenses. So I think because of his lack of experience, I mean, it worked out for Sean McVay, right? But I think it's kind of risky. I'd rather go with someone who's already seasoned, a veteran who's seen like all the schemes. So I think it's either up to Brian Dable, who's been with Miami, the Patriots, even Alabama. And then you guys were talking about Justin Fields. You guys know I'm a Bama fan. I don't think our defense is crazy, to be honest, because, Pete Golding is not the best of coaches. I get that we have a lot of talent on that side of the ball, but remember, we also let up 48 points against Ole Miss, and we also let a lot of points against Florida, a Florida team that had where Kyle Pitts was running all over us. So I wouldn't be surprised if it would be a shootout. I'm expecting for us to win, and shout out to my boy Smitty for getting the Heisman.
Yeah, no doubt. He looks definitely nice in a Jet uniform if they can find a way to trade up with that other first-round pick. But, Dylan, great call, man. Definitely staring a brain on Dable and potentially Campbell as head coaches. So, good stuff, man.
Yeah, thanks for the call, guys. You guys are awesome.
Appreciate the call, man. Bro. Thank you. Next up, 3 minutes. The mic is all yours. Slam the Jets. Slam Adam Gase. Enjoy the moment. Jay, what's up, man?
Not going to do that. I'm going to make this quick, and I'm going to slam our good friend Tyrone because he had the coldest take in the history of Talk Jets radio tonight. He said that he would hate if we were to bring in, if we were to draft the quarterback, and then he goes ahead and he drafts the quarterback. It's like, dude, listen, you can't tell me you don't love Fields and then tell me you're going to take him number 2. That's just crazy talk. So, coldest take. It's snowing outside my window in sunny South Florida because that take was that cold. And I got to give my man some shit about that. But that said, I'm super excited that Adam Gase is gone. Kev, real quick, I just want to get your thoughts on this because you didn't touch on this. Chris Johnson, after you were the guy who put together that mixtape of all of his ridiculous sound bites and everything, right? Dude, that people were giving him praise for the way he handled that press conference. That sounded exactly like everything else that he's ever said in his life. Like, I'm sick and tired. The guy has the nerve to stand there and say, I'm sick of losing. Who the fuck's fault is it that we're losing? Like,
not just
you,
yeah, dude.
You can't
not
be
just
a terrible
that quote.
chef and then complain that you can't
only
get a
thing,
good home-cooked meal. What the fuck are you talking about?
The only thing you could take away from what he said was, as far as entertaining power structure and that he might let Joe Douglas run the search, which, again, are still not definitive. We have no idea if he's actually going to back off and let Joe Douglas do his thing. But as far as everything else he said, heard it before. I've seen it in every fucking email that they've sent at the end of the year. I read the season ticket letter. I'm sure you got yours also that they sent to the fans. It's the same bullshit that they recycle every year. Come up with something different. Stop, with the same bullshit quotes. Show us some fucking action. I've given, numerous quotes that I think he should have said, things he could have said, that would have been a little bit more humble, a little bit more honest, a little bit more self-reflective and said, you know what, we have failed you guys. We've got to earn your respect back. But no, he tries to tell fans, you guys should be confident we're going to nail this. I'm sick of hearing that.
This guy had the nerve to stand there, as disgraceful as his record is as the owner of the Jets. He had the nerve to stand there and say, I think by next year, the teams are going to be scared to come into MetLife. They're not going to want to see the Jets on their schedule. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, we've been one of the worst teams in football for the last few years. How about take one step at a time and admit your failure before we start talking about teams being scared to come here and play? That was crazy. I hate that guy. I honestly, when he talks, you can't take anything he says seriously. It's ridiculous.
Nope. Well said, Jay. Good stuff. Talk to you soon. Happy New Year.
Hey Jay, man, I'm sorry for giving snow in Florida, baby. I love you though, bro.
It's chilly outside down here, man. I moved down here for the weather. I can't even have that anymore, man. You're making me snow on my balcony.
I'm trying to do a better job, bro. I love you, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Night, man.
Go Jets. Go Jets.
All right, bro. Good night. That's my guy
Next
right there,
up,
bro.
Matt out in Philly. Always a good call. Matt, what's up, man?
What's up, guys? Loving the banter. Questioning where Tyson is. Is he on one of those Jersey Shore runs? I haven't heard from him in a while.
Nah, he's on, man. He's doing calls and shit. So.
Wow. What are we talking about here? What is this shit?
Tyson, I'm from the Jersey Shore. Don't worry. We're Jeff fans from the Jersey Shore. I got your back.
You better have a good take right now. You're going to get roasted.
I'm glad I went after that last caller because the Christopher Johnson and his quotes scare me so much. I can't sleep at night sometimes, guys. I was off of work last week, and I heard Bob Wischusen and was holding the Michael K show, so I set my clock, my alarm. I'm going to call Bobby and see what he really thinks about the Jets and Christopher Johnson's competence at the owner position. And I got cut off pretty rudely. And he told me that the owner has given full decision-making power over personnel to the general manager. Then the next day, Rich Cimini tweets that he's going to have the final say and he's going to be in every interview. I am scared shitless to this because Christopher Johnson doesn't know what he's doing. He claimed Adam Gase was a brilliant offensive mind who's coaching to where football was going. And from what I remember, guys, I thought that Johnson wanted Gase and McCagnon wanted McCarthy. That's how I remember it. And I think they both agreed on Rule, but then Johnson wouldn't let him hire his assistants. This guy is incapable of doing his job correctly, and he needs to stand down if we're going to have any sort of chance to turning this culture around. I'm scared shitless of this guy.
Yeah,
completely agree.
Could you imagine Matt Rule right now with being our coach?
But the thing is too is the X factor. All this. Chris Johnson had all these bold words and all these hot takes, and Joe Douglas talked today. What happens when Woody Johnson comes back in 2 weeks? How does that change things? How does he get involved? What does he do? I don't trust Matt. I'm with you, dude. I don't trust any of them. I trust none of them.
But you heard what Christopher Johnson said too, though. But when Woody gets back, Woody's back in charge. He said that.
I don't trust
better
be.
Man. I hope so. Christopher Johnson's the little brother that he got the team. Sorry, you go on. My bad.
No. How bad is it, man? We want Woody back, bro. You know he's shitty as hell when you want Woody back, bro. I'm just saying. I mean, I never thought I'd say them words, but I'm really missing Woody like a motherfucker, bro. I really miss him.
They need to change the structure. Even if it's just reporting. Bob Wischusen and I got in a little Twitter battle with him the other day, and he says, you won't be talking about the reporting if we draft good players. I mean, yeah, no shit, Bob. We need new players. And I love Bob's opinions, but, we need to be on the same page and strive for synergy here from top to bottom. And it's not going to work if Christopher Johnson doesn't even know what football's about. This is Joe Douglas. We pay him all this money to make the football decisions. Let him do it. Just pen your name in once he puts the paper in front of you. Don't keep me on my edge of my seat.
Yeah, dude, I like Bob. I respect Bob, but he's voice of the Jets. He's never going to say anything to bash the team, at least on social media.
He's paid by the Jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. You don't want to bite the hand that feeds you. I think deep down he believes what me and you were saying. But I just want to quickly touch about the coach and who I want. I watched Week 3 this year, Monday Night Football. Eric Bieniemy. He went right down the field, and then they ended up punting away. It wasn't right down the field, but they got to the 50-yard line. It wasn't a 3-and-out. I've never seen someone go crazy on their offensive personnel like this guy on the sideline. He's a fiery guy. He'll get in your face when you're not getting the specific detail correct, and it looks like he would be the guy to develop our talent. Everybody says, it's built in the draft. But when's the last time the Jets had a coach that could actually develop the talent that we draft? I think this is the guy.
Matt, well said, man. Good stuff. Have a good night. Talk to you later.
Thanks,
Good night, bro. Have a good night.
Yep. And Justin, you got 1 minute on the clock. All yours.
All right,
what's
what's good, fellas? Happy New Year. Let's just get right into it. Enough with the nonsense, man. If the new coach wants Sam Darnold, the guy has 3 years of experience. You can say what he wants. He's been inconsistent, but I mean, let's get off this Fields bandwagon before he shows us. Let him show us something against the okay defense in Alabama before we pump the brakes with his 7 starts this year, which he didn't even look that good in half of them. So let's pump the brakes with this Justin Fields stuff, please.
There you go. Thoughts on the head coach? Last thing.
Head coach? I mean, to be honest with you, I don't want a college guy. I want a guy that's either an experienced guy or Brian Daboll's my number one. Look at what he's done with Josh Allen. His numbers improved significantly from year 1 to year 2 to year 3. That's what you want in your quarterback guru coach. And to say that Sam Darnold, I get it. The guy has been inconsistent, but come on, let's not get out of hand here. Fields has been playing with all-stars. Trevor Lawrence has been playing with all-stars in Clemson. I mean, look who Sam played with. Look at all the different lines.
So wait, you wouldn't want Trevor Lawrence now?
Yeah, enough with that nonsense. That's not an option.
Wait, no. If you're going to compare Trevor Lawrence, you're comparing Trevor Lawrence and Sam Darnold. Keep it in perspective.
It's over.
But you're comparing them together. You're comparing them for no reason. You're talking out your ass.
It is because he's been playing with the top guys. Clemson gets all the top guys recruit.
What does that mean? So Trevor Lawrence not good then?
Trevor Lawrence is not an option. It doesn't matter. Point blank. Period. Let's
but
just stop
you're saying
talking about it.
You're saying he plays the top guys. Like it's a bad thing. So Trevor Lawrence not good because he plays the top guys. Your point makes no sense.
Over. That boat has sailed. Unless some miracle that Fields goes number one.
Answer the
vote is over.
question.
Let's stop crying about Trevor Lawrence. Enough with this
So
crying
good.
about
Trevor Lawrence plays with good players around him. He's not good.
Trevor Lawrence is done. He's not coming unless some miracle happens. It's done. Why are we even talking about it? I'm sick
You know what's done is your takes. All right. So as we wrap this up, Tyrone, your thoughts, man.
Yo, just want to say amazing show, man. Thanks to everybody for supporting us, man. I appreciate it. You got the prime time and Tyson Scaffold. You got Snow in Florida, man. You got my man Just Blaze Caller. I love you guys, man. And just keep doing what we're doing. Gase is gone. Let's start over again. Reboot.
Prime time?
Just Blaze going out of the Blaze, man. What a show. Thank you guys for all the calls, all the debates. It's all love, whether you like Sam, whether you hate Sam. We all want the same thing, which is to see this team fucking win. Hopefully they get this coaching search right, so I'll try and stop being negative and hope that Joe Douglas does his thing.
Thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for all the phone calls. We'll be live streaming the Ohio State-Alabama game. We're probably doing the Bills game on Saturday and something else too, so just stay tuned to our YouTube channel. We appreciate all the support. So that's it. Talk to you guys later.
Have a good night and Happy New Year.